brothers. They killed. Give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my actions. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Shalom, shalom, Richmond. Shalom, Israel. Get us started here. All right, shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. This is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge of Virginia's Tuesday night Brotherhood class. All right. A couple minutes to get everything set up. Hopefully everybody's doing all right tonight. All right, get the volume straight on everything. All right, we on Instagram as well. All right, so if you can hear me okay, if everybody can hear me all right, let me get a 1 in the chat. A 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me all right. If you can hear me fine, hear me clear, hear me fine, give me a 1 in the chat. A 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Uh-oh, I got ones coming in. All right, it might be good to go. All right. That'll work. All right, so we up on Facebook, we up on Instagram, we up on YouTube. I think we should be good to go. Shalom. Everybody's clap it up. This is tonight's Brotherhood class. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shem Alathon Bashim Yahweh Shah to the sisters. I want to say the waters for everybody logging in, checking in, getting in here tonight. I got a couple of ones in the chat, so I think everybody can hear me. We should good to go. I'm going to add the link to the live in case brothers want to come in, read, and so forth, to chime in. We only ask that if you do chime in, you do come in, that you are appropriate when you get in here. So we're going to throw that in the chat. I think my brother, I think Officer Mataza Akara is going to be joining me tonight. We shall see. All right, man, let's do a little quick roll call. Let's see who we got in here tonight. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatah. We got Nola boy. I think you pronounce it Jarion. Hopefully I said that right. I remember you was being here from last night. So Shabbat, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatah. Young man in here tonight. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatah. The Trooper Kazaki is in here tonight. Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahweh Shah, the sister Aisha in the building. And Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Brakatah, brother Stephen Baldwin in the building as well. We also got sister Nah in the building. Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahweh Shah. And we got Officer Kushan in the building. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Brakatah. And I got a yes in the chat. So I'm assuming I pronounced your name correct. So that's all right. That's the wild. That's the wild right there. All right, tonight's Brotherhood class. Tonight's Brotherhood class. If y'all have any questions you have, make sure you put those in the chat. If this is your first time getting here tonight, first time logging on, you want to make sure you put your name, city, and state in the chat so you get credit for logging on. If you're a brother designed to be a trooper, you want to make sure that you're in all black boots, shirts, headband, scarf, and so forth. And again, it's very important you put your name in there so you get your attendance. You do your 90 days, you get your name, you become official. You become official in getting this body to get this work done. For the sisters in there, you want to make sure your head is covered when you're in the class. And the word is coming out and so forth. And other than that, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Tonight is tonight's Brotherhood class. This is going to be a continuation somewhat of the class we had last Tuesday. As usual, we didn't get through everything. And that's all right, though. That's a good thing. The Lord, he dictates how the word is going to flow, how it's going to flow, how what's going to come out. And that's all divine. That's all spiritual. And that's all divine. That's how it should be. If you ever have any question about anything, don't feel intimidated, shy, or impeded not to ask your question. Ask your question. That's how you learn. And it may be a question that you got that maybe somebody else has. And they're not asking. So by you asking it, you clear it up for another brother or another sister as well. And again, we all learn this word together. So with tonight being a Brotherhood class, we like to start the Brotherhood class off the same way. We like to kind of get through it, be a little bit redundant so that you will learn. One of the things we lack the most is our brotherhood. We lack that, so we always try to again start this class out the same way so that you are equipped to go back out into this world with everything that you need to be successful, to be strong, to stay strong in this truth, and you make sure you equipped to battle everybody else. Tonight is actually part of Halloween. And one thing about when you first get in this body, you first get in this truth, you can be somewhat intimidated or shy, or you don't want to offend nobody, you don't want to step on nobody's toes, so you don't bring it out as much. You know, you try to be respectful of other people. But the thing about that is we got to always realize that we are in Babylon. We are in Babylon, and they're going to definitely always infringe upon you. They could care less about you being in the truth. They could care less about the Lord. Our people have been taught not to follow the Lord. Our people have been taught by the Antichrist to be as Antichrist as possible. In that Christian church and that Muslim mosque, they are taught to do everything adverse to that Bible. They are taught to do everything that's not in the Bible, that's against the Lord. So if you're gonna go to, if you have school age, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna see the Christmas decorations all over. You're gonna get that, hey, Merry Christmas. You're gonna get the folks knocking. I just put a sticker on the door, no candy. Don't come over here begging for no candy. You know what I mean? And if I had more time, if I wasn't teaching, I'd be standing there with that word, waiting on them to come to burn them up and let them know, hey, this ain't what our people supposed to be out here doing. So never feel I'm ashamed to wear your heritage. You know what I'm saying, out loud. Wear it out loud. Let them know who you are, because they definitely gonna always try to push you into falling back into their world, into not following the Lord. So again, we try to reinforce, you know what I'm saying, a couple of things. Like we try to reinforce brotherhood. We try to reinforce what love is. That way, again, you got a real strong foundation in this truth. You got a real strong foundation in the principles, the foundation, the main core of what this word is talking about. Yahweh Shema, Sister Coco in the building. So again, with tonight being nice brotherhood class, we like to start off the same way. Brotherhood. If you can come up with another word that was synonymous with brotherhood, what would that be? What's another word that's synonymous with brotherhood? Who can tell me another word that's synonymous with brotherhood? You want to type that in the chat. What's another word that's synonymous with brotherhood? I see him coming in. Think about this Bible. This Bible. This is a family heirloom. This is a family heirloom with family instructions. We don't separate the women and the children. We learn as a unit. We learn together. We are stronger together. This world has created the differences in the divide in between the man and the woman and the child. And this is why we are so out of order now. This is why we're so out of order. And we don't know how to get that structure, get that order back, because we separate and we're supposed to be together. They've removed the man from the house. They've removed that child from that man, and so on and so on. So when we come back and we learn this truth, we learn this truth together so that we all know it. And I see some answers coming in. Also, young man, John Rand in the building. Good to see you in here again tonight. Also, Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahweh Shada, Sister Nazama Na in the building. All right. And we got some answers coming in. Again, another word that's synonymous with brotherhood is going to be sisterhood. Give Trooper Kazaki a hand. Give Sister Coco a hand. Give that brother Stephen Baldwin a hand. And give Sister Ana a hand. And Sister Nazama Na jumped in with answers. She jumped in swinging. And she said sisterhood as well. By brotherhood is going to be synonymous with sisterhood. We are stronger together. They taught our women, you don't need no man. They taught our man to get with the woman and then throw that woman away. None of that stuff is our culture. That's not our culture. That's never been our culture. And it has destroyed us as a unit. It's destroyed our families. It's destroyed our communities. It's destroyed us as a nation as a whole, because we don't rely on each other for strength. We don't rely on each other for strength, and all the love and comfort and compassion we got, we take that and we give that away to the other nations. We don't have that for one another. Our sisters are the only ones that say, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. You don't hear that from the Asian woman. You don't hear that from the Korean woman, the Arab woman. You don't hear that from none of them. You don't hear that from them. That's non-existent in their culture, in their society, but in ours it's prevalent, and they did that on purpose. Our men have been reduced down to being less than the masculine role figure, that power, that strength that we're supposed to be. We baby daddies. we baby daddies now. You know what I mean? And everything that's not not becoming of what a man is supposed to be. We're not in charge of our families. Most of us come up in single parent households. You can look at the stats on it. If you were fortunate enough to be in class last night with Officer Mataz Akara, just looking at those stats, they knew exactly what they were doing when they did that. They knew what the downfall of you removing that man out that family. They knew the downfall of what would happen if you put that woman in charge of that family, how it will break that family unit down. It will break that family unit down. You 70, 80% more higher to be in poverty. 70, 80% more higher to be in a chance of you being incarcerated when you're coming out, to you not graduating when you come out of school. And the list just goes on and on and on. And this was done to us on purpose. It was done to us on purpose, but unfortunately, we don't realize it. We don't realize it, so therefore we perpetrate it. We glorify it. We glorify it, and we revel in it, and we sing it. It's all in our movies. It's all in our television shows. It permeates our culture, even though that was never part of our culture to begin with. Never part of our culture to begin with. So you are absolutely correct. Sisterhood, brotherhood, and sisterhood are synonymous with each other. What's another word for brotherhood and sisterhood? Who could tell me another word for brotherhood and sisterhood? If you had to give me another word for brotherhood and sisterhood, and if you know the precept, go ahead and drop that precept in there as well. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says to prove all things. Prove all things. The problem is you got a lot of people that's not authorized to teach the Bible. A lot of people that's not authorized to tell you anything about God. Don't know anything about God. The first thing about the Lord. The first thing about what it means to be a disciple. The first thing to know what it means to be an actual Christian. That word Christian has been hijacked. This is why we in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we don't really go off of that too much. We don't really identify ourselves like with that word so much, just because it's been hijacked and manipulated and turned into something that's so antichrist. It's so against the Lord now. When you see Christians now, Christians Christians have a spirit just like this oppressor. Just like this oppressor, they hate one another. They hate their own brothers and their sisters. They hate the Lord. They hate the Most High. They hate Christ. And reason how you know they hate him is by the scripture that we about to get right here. Everybody in the chat, get Sister Coco hand. She said love. Akwaf Nazam Anas said love. Stephen Baldwin said love. Trooper Kazakia said love. We got a young man in there. Young man came in there. He said love as well. And then Trooper Kazakia came in and he said love. And he also gave that precept for it. He gave that precept for it. And that's going to be 1 John 5:3. And all of y'all are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. Brotherhood and sisterhood is synonymous with love. That's why that's all that is love. But see, we don't know what love is. We know the definition of love from this oppressor. We know what the oppressor told us love was. You got a lot of people outside right now with their children. They dressed up like little kids, and their kids dressed up like grown people in their costumes. Imagine that. They dressed up like little kids, and the kids is dressed up like them, like grown people. And they all out thinking that they practicing and showing love. Them parents think they showing their children love, and really they showing their children hate, because they're not teaching their children how to follow the Most High, how to gain a protection from the Most High, how to secure those promises from the Most High. They are teaching their children to walk in danger, to play with the Lord, And Sister Nazam Anai is absolutely correct. Love is an action word. Love is an action word. Love, you can't love nobody without putting no action behind it. And the action behind it that the Lord told us was to keep them commandments. And we're finna get that right now. And if you're not keeping those commandments, that opposite of love is hate. See, we think hate is burning the cross in front of somebody lawn. We think hate is like when Officer Mataz Akara was bringing it out last night, buck breaking. No, that's not hate. That's brutality. That's cruelty. That's perversion. That's the oppressor. That's Esau. Hate is just simply not loving. That's what hate is. Hate is simply not loving. Like if I can't love my children if I don't hate something that's gonna hurt them. I can't love my children if I'm gonna teach them something that's gonna destroy them. If I'm gonna teach them to follow this world, to follow these customs, and that's gonna destroy them and take their life out, that's not me loving them. That's not me loving them. That's me loving this world. That's me loving this world and worshiping other gods of this world. But let's go ahead and get that scripture out. Let's get that scripture out, because Sister Nazam Anai is absolutely on it. Let's go ahead and pull that out. I think I grabbed that one. If not, then we'll get it. No biggie. Matter of fact, let's go right here and I'll pull it from this one. I pulled up a lot of different things tonight, and I didn't grab that one. So this is actually a good way for me to kind of teach and show you the tools that we use. So I'm gonna bring up this screen. It's not gonna be the screen. Hold on. Did I go to the wrong one? Okay, I messed all the way up with that. All right, give me 1 second. Let me get back. Here we go. All right, we back there. Cool. That's not what I wanted, but so let me stop that one. That's not the one I wanted. Not the one I wanted. Let's get back. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. All right, so I tell you what, let's do this. Let's pull up a new one. That's what I want. Okay, cool. So this will give me a good chance to show you how to get to this screen that I use on here. Again, it's a good tool. If you haven't already downloaded the KJV, King James Version 1611 Bible, I think in the app it says KJV. Sometimes it says KJVA. That A standing for Apocrypha. Apocrypha being the 14 books that they took out of the Bible. So normally the version you get over here on this side of the globe is going to be the King James Version. It's not going to have that Apocrypha in it. It's not going to have those missing those books in there. Those books, Apocrypha in the Hebrew, stands for the hidden books. The hidden books, and in those hidden books, that's where you find a lot of your history at. Matter of fact, and we're going to look at that a little bit tonight, but that's where you find your history. That's where you specifically find that Greek captivity at. And so without that kind of throws us off, and we don't know. We're missing that whole part of history right there. And I see I got Officer Matazah Quran to build him. Me add him to the stage real quick.
Shalom.
Shalom.
How about Shabbat?
All right, can everybody hear Officer Matazah Quran? Okay, if you can hear him, okay, give me another one in that chat real quick. And then we're gonna get these screens right. And then we were let me see. Where is that at? I'm in there. All right. All right. I think we got some ones coming in, so I think they can hear you all right. They got both of us up on the screen now. Just want to see if I can make that a little bit bigger. No, I can't. Let's go back here. We're gonna get it. This is our first time sharing screens in this platform. So how you doing tonight, out of one?
I'm too wild. How are you?
I'm too wild. I'm doing all right. I don't put my sign up on the door telling them kids don't knock on my damn door for no Halloween. So I'm doing pretty good. All right. So if everybody can see on the screen, all we doing, we just going over. We just hit the first precept about to jump into love, the definition of love. Feel free to chime in anytime you want to, out of one. We're gonna go ahead and pull that up real quick. So right now, this is the online tool. I'm gonna go right here to the King James app. I got it saved so I can get to it kind of quick. The Bible says, "Study to show thyself approved." This sword is what you're gonna live and die by. This is why we suffer. We are such in the state that we are in because we don't know this Bible. We don't know this Bible, and the ones who teach us it, they have no idea what this Bible, what's inside of this Bible, what it contains, the power of this word, and they don't even understand what it means. I read something where they said they've been reading this Bible for how many years we done had it in them churches, how many years we done had that Bible in their churches, and they don't even know who the main characters is. Ain't that something? They have no idea who the main characters of the Bible is. They don't know that Bible is about blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. And they done had it this whole entire time. So they have no idea on what's in this Bible, what it's supposed to be used for. It's kind of like they got a fully assault rifle, and they're using it to prop the door open. They're using the prop the door open, let all the enemies inside the house, as opposed to keeping them same enemies that's not supposed to be in there, as opposed to keeping them out the house. But here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you're gonna learn what this book is for. You're gonna learn that this is your wisdom. This is your wisdom. This is your strength, and this is how we build our nation. This is a nation building tool. This is how we build our nation. Starting off first with we already pulled up with love. Let's go ahead and get that love, and that's gonna be in 1 John 5:3. 1 John 5:3.
Lucky, if I could, before you read the scripture.
Go ahead, Ottawa.
What you just said was so heavy about our people not knowing what's in the Bible, and that's absolutely the fault of the Christian church. It's absolutely the fault of the Christian church. So many Christian pastors, they spend no time in the Old Testament. There's no time at all spent in the Old Testament, primarily because they want to say that the law is done away with. So they don't want to have to go back there and address any of that except for tithes. They're going to address that all day. But the detriment to our people is that because of our history, particularly in America, we have no identity, we have no culture, we have no heritage. The Christian church does not provide one. The Christian church just tells all of our people that they need to be like everybody else. Everybody else. They need to take on everybody else's culture, everybody else's ways, which the Bible specifically tells us not to. But this Christian the Christian church just allows that to be perpetuated because they don't actually know what's in the Bible. They don't actually teach what's in the Bible. If they actually taught what was in the Bible, and blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like you said, would be fully aware that that's our culture, and then you wouldn't have these situations like today when they're celebrating this wicked holiday, and I'm having to have a discussion with my daughter who feels left out,
Con,
because she,
con.
everybody else is going to be dressing up and so on and so forth. Now I have to reassure her, that her heritage is not that, and the Most High is going to love her for not doing that. And you want to get the Most High's love, then you want it more so than you want to get these folks' love out here. But this is all because we don't have a heritage, and the Christian church does not teach it. This is why the Israelite School, the UPK, is the only place for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because having our culture keeps us safe. It keeps us away from aligning ourselves with all these other nations who want nothing but to destroy us. I yield.
Oh no, yeah, you are absolutely correct. And it's such a wicked thing, like you said, especially when you got little ones, and then you have to explain to them, well, nah, son, daughter, baby, we don't do that, because by doing that, we put ourselves in danger. We put ourselves at odds with the Most High. We're supposed to follow God before anything else. But to have to sit down and explain that to them, and they know that, it's amazing the different the different strides they take to protect the quote unquote Jewish, the quote unquote ones that's faking and the imposters. We'll call them imposters for the rest of the class. It's amazing the steps they take to protect the imposters. They do all kinds of things for them. They got if you let them know that that's what you want in school, they got their own separate menu. They got their own stores, they got their own schools. You don't even see them in your school system. But when it comes to us, we're bombarded. And we talked about a little bit about that when we first started the class. We're bombarded with the other nation's culture, even though it's directly adverse, is against our God. We're bombarded with that. So it's very important, like you said, that we reinforce that with our own. And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing, but the Bible says you train a child up. You train them up in those ways. That's what's going to strengthen them. That's what's going to protect them. And that's love, just like Sister Nazama now was saying. And she also said, we got a comment for her. She was saying that Salakia, I was all the way in the church on the usher board and all, and didn't learn absolutely nothing but more struggles. And that's absolutely paramount. That's right on point as far as that Christian church. You will be there for years on years on years. And that was because I know that was my experience. I learned more. The first video I saw, it says confession is good for the soul. The first video I saw when I first started to get that knowledge of the truth was Captain Mashak out there in DC. He was out there on that block. He was out there on H and 7, getting it in, burning them up as they were walking back. My soul was my spirit was just was on fire listening to him, because I had never heard it before. He was saying what I felt, but he was saying it right out that word, and it forced me to go grab my Bible. Now I'm looking at it too, because I had been in that church for years and years, and I had never heard what Idlewild was bringing out. So it's just like the sister was saying, you will sit there for years and years, and you will never learn. You'll never learn what's inside that Bible, but you will learn how to struggle. It's like you learn how to be happy. You learn how to be happy being without. You learn how to be happy being defeated your entire life. You learn how to be happy by not winning. And that kind of gets to the title of the class. Free men fight for justice, but them slaves just learned it. We just want to get along. And you learn a lot of that in that Christian church. You learn to give up early in that Christian church. And you learn that by giving up, that's your ticket. That's your golden ticket. You're going to get to heaven. You're going to forgive everybody that did you wrong. And that's gonna give you your pass to heaven later on in the end, which makes absolutely no sense. And that's not inside the Bible. Not inside the Bible. Yahbashim Yahweh Brakatah, Officer Urash Amoff is in the building. So the sister is dead on. She's absolutely correct. You were correct out of one. You won't learn anything in there. And that's why it's very important that we go over that, especially times like this. Times like this, times like Christmas. You know, they start like right after this holiday, they're gonna start celebrating Christmas. You'll see the decorations and stuff all up in the school. You're gonna so again, you hit with it every day. You're gonna start seeing the commercials every day on the screen for it. You're gonna go into the store, you're going to the gas station, no where you at, no matter where you at, that's what you're gonna see. And because they're gonna force you to follow this nation. They're gonna force you to follow the other gods. But that's not our heritage. That's not our culture. The water out of one. We just doing what we've been taught. That's all. Doing what we've been taught. And it's actually a continuous. We didn't get to everything last week. It's such a heavy title, especially with everything that's going on over in Israel and Gaza. You got so many of us out of one. Little side note. So many of us is out there right now. With the signs trying to protest for we either for Israel or we for Gaza, so forth. But we don't realize that they got so much more than we'll ever have because we don't follow we don't follow the Bible. We don't follow our heritage culture. We don't have our power because we don't rely on our power. You know what I'm saying, to fulfill the promises that he said he was going to give to us. We don't have none of that, but we'll jump behind another nation to fight for them. But we won't fight for ourselves. And that's again another derivative of that Christian church. They teach you not to fight. How Martin Luther King told them, you know, you go in there, you sit at the lunch counter, let them spit in your face, spit all in your food, dump the milkshakes on your head, and you sit there and say, "We shall overcome. We shall overcome." And that's not a masculine spirit like you was bringing out last night in your class out of one. That's not a masculine spirit, but that's a spirit that permeates us as a people. And you see it every day. You see it all the time. And it's holidays like this where it's reinforced that. Okay, but we're gonna go ahead and get to it though. So 1 John 5:3, for this is the love of God. See, we think that you can't have your own definition of love. You really can't have your own definition of anything. If I say left is your right, or you know what I'm saying, or left is right and right is left, I'm gonna be backwards. I'm gonna be wrong. If I say 2 + 2 is 10, everybody else say 2 + 2 is 4. It may feel good to me. It may feel good to me. I may be able to come up with the numbers real quick. I'm a mathematician in my own right, but I am wrong because that's not the definition of it. That's not what it really is. And unfortunately, this is what we've been taught inside of that church, inside of the school system. We've been taught this very, very thing. We've been taught, like Sister Nazama now was saying, love is an action word. We've been taught that it's a feeling. It's how you feel. But feelings come and go. Feelings can be anything. You can have a stomach ache and you feel bad. You can attribute it to whatever. You know what I mean? So feelings are just that. They're feelings. They're emotions. Feelings, and you can't feel it. Love is not a feeling. You got to get out there and actually apply love. And that's what it's saying in this scripture right here. It said, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. That word grievous meaning it's not hard to keep these commandments. It may be a little uncomfortable to have to sit your child down and say, nah, babe, we don't do that. That's not our culture. But even in that, the strength that you're giving them, the power that you are giving them, that you're giving them something that's going to last them for a lifetime. And I don't know about y'all, but if anybody out there has children or have teenagers, and as they get older and you got less and less influence on them and they get further and further out that door, the main thing you're concerned and worried about is their safety. That's the main thing you're worried about is their safety. The main thing you're worried about, are they going to be safe? Are they going to make it back home? All that stuff that this world try to forces you on, where they're going to be upset because they're not getting no candy. You can tell us about some candy when your child is hurt. You can tell us about some candy, you know what I'm saying, if you're not sure your child going to wake up. And by us following these laws, statutes, and commandments, we ensure that the Most High is going to protect us. We ensure that we got a nation in the kingdom and inheritance to leave to them. And so those childish things that they try to teach us to hold on to, we're able to let those go. And that's not a hard thing. That's not a hard thing to do. But without knowing these laws, statutes, and commandments, then you kind of handicapped as far as doing that. So did you have anything on that out of one? Because if not, I'm gonna ask what some of these commandments are.
Salaki, yeah, I do actually. And going back to the Christian church, now to your point, if you don't know what the law, statutes, and commandments are, you absolutely handicapped. But again, the Christian church teaches our people that they don't have to follow them at all.
Yeah, right.
They'll specifically speak to them and say that they're gone and done away with. So it's even more wicked. It's not even that I'm holding information from you necessarily. I'm telling you the exact opposite of what you should be getting. I'm telling you, yes, no, you don't got to follow none of this, knowing absolutely that the Bible says we're supposed to be following everything. So it's even worse, and that's why Christianity. You say it often. Christianity worse than crack.
It is.
At least a crackhead know they're on drugs. At least a crackhead knows that they're on drugs. They know they're a little bit better because they know they got a problem. But the Christian church teaches all of this so that all of the body, all these Christians walk around absolutely crackheads, and they have no idea.
Have no idea. No idea. You are absolutely correct. So if y'all could go in and get a couple of commandments. Y'all tell me some of the commandments that we're supposed to follow. And while y'all bringing that up, you brought up a real heavy point right there, out of one. The Christian church, not only they don't teach us the laws, they teach us that there is no law. There is no law. That's why, like you were saying in the beginning, they stay out of that Old Testament. Why? Because that Old Testament let you know from the jump, from the very beginning, that we got to follow that law. The water out of one. So we're gonna pull that real quick. I want planning on. We're gonna go ahead and get that one real quick. Let's go ahead and go to Deuteronomy 28:1 while y'all tell me what some of these commandments we're supposed to follow are. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up real quick. Deuteronomy 28:1. Deuteronomy 28:1. We're gonna get that real quick because it's imperative that we know, again, these commandments aren't optional. It was never optional. It was never, well, you can and well, you can't. It doesn't work like that. And we learned that in that church. I can be just as disgusting as I want to get to be. I can break every law I want to get to be. I can be the worst human being possible. And all I got to do is pray on it. All I got to do is pray on it. And if I pray on it, the God gonna bless me. God got a blessing for you. Jesus take the will and all this other nonsense that makes no sense whatsoever. And if you read right here in Deuteronomy 28:1, it starts off, it said, it shall come to pass. And it said, when it says it shall come to pass, that means it's going to happen. And if thou shalt hearken meaning listen, diligently, carefully, specifically, if you listen diligently unto the voice of the Most High, thy power, to observe and to do, you can't just look at it. You see, you hear a lot of them Christians say, I know the Bible. Oh, I know the Bible, especially them old big hat wearing aunties. Them aunties know that Bible, boy. They know that Bible. You can't tell them nothing about it. And they be the first one to say, oh, I know the Bible. I've been going to church for last 35, 45 years. Done ran off about 3 husbands in a lifetime. 3 husbands. No, none of the kids come over there to see her no more because she get on everybody's nerves. She's a dragon. But she know that Bible backwards and forth. But it says you can't just know it. You can't just know it. It says to observe and to do all his commandments. And we get to some of those commandments now, but it's important that we do these commandments. You got to know these commandments, and then you got to do it. Just like Sister Nazama now would say, it's an action implied behind it. Action to do is when it says to do, that implies action. That's the same action of not taking your children out here for Halloween tonight. That's that same action of not eating pork. Matter of fact, we're gonna get to some of these. We'll get to some of these laws, commandments we got in there. But I just wanted to bring that out. Which I commanded this day. The Lord told us this day. This was never optional. This was never a suggestion. No, this is what he told us. This was a commandment. A commandment is an order, instruction. This is what you're going to do. If you ever been in the military, if you ever go to school, if you got a parent, if you are a parent, when you tell your child, you command your child to do A, B, and C, that's not an option. If you tell your child, I need you need to be here by 9 o'clock. That's not optional. I come in at 11, I come in at 12, and it's going to still be all right. No, you had a commandment, an order, a directive to be there at a specific time. And it's like the Lord gave us orders and directives. It's not optional. It's not a feel-good type thing. It's not what makes me feel good and God still know my heart. No, the Lord commanded us to do A, B, and C. And when we don't do A, B, and C, the Lord gonna hold up his part of the bargain. And the Bible says the wages of sin are death. Wages of sin are death.
If I could add on to that, you make a heavy point, because the idea that they're optional, that these laws, statutes, and commandments are optional, is where that whole idea of free will comes from. And again, the Christian church teaches our people that they have free will, so they can do whatever they want to do, as long as they say, Jesus, I'm sorry. As long as they come and pay their tithes and so-called repent. They call it repenting, but it's really not, because they'll just go out and do it again next week. But the idea is you can do anything you want to do, and you just got to apologize, and they call that free will. Again, not teaching and sharing with the people that especially only blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're in this position because we didn't, and our forefathers and foremothers didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. So it's not optional at all. There's just a consequence. That's like saying you can speed down the road at 120 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone, and that's optional. It's not. There are consequences that are associated with it. And that's the part that the Christian church does not want to teach. That's the part that the Christian church does not want to come out and say that, yes, we're supposed to be following these laws and there's consequences because of it. And that way they get to do whatever they want to do and collect all the tithe money and be the most wicked people on the planet.
Damn right. Damn right. You are absolutely correct, out of one. Also, Uriah Shema says that you can't fall short of the glory of God in the Old Testament. And that's absolutely correct. And like Yahweh Shai said, I come in the volume of the book. They're the ones that taught us it's the old and the new to try to throw you off to say one of them doesn't matter anymore. Every word in that Bible is consequential, and it means something that's important, and it's dire. It's dire to us. And also, like you said, you gave a great example when you said that it's like you speed. That speed limit may say 55 miles per hour. You're down there doing 100, and it doesn't matter. It's not dependent upon when there was no cars out. It was 2 a.m. I was out there by myself. Cop don't care about none of that. It could be the safest conditions ever. It can be broad daylight. Everybody's in the middle of COVID. Nobody outside. You go over that speed limit. You have not done what was instructed, what was commanded of you to do, and there's consequences for that. And just like how we can understand that, it's amazing. We can understand the concept as simple as that, but we cannot understand the concept of God said do A, B, and C. If you don't do A, B, and C, it's going to be consequences of it. And then when the consequences hit us over and over and over again, all the death we got in our neighborhoods, our communities, our family, over and over, and we still don't make that connection. Well, maybe if I just do what the Lord say do, then these consequences won't hit us and affect us the way that it does. So that's an excellent point that you brought out. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up so we can get this off, and then we're gonna get to some of these commandments. And at the very end of it, it says that the Lord, that the Most High, thy power, will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. See, this is another reason why they stay out this Old Testament. It's so much compacted in just that one line right there. Not only you can look around and tell we at the bottom of society. We the strongest, we the fastest, we the most intelligent, most intuitive, brightest there is, but we at the bottom of society. But it says right here, by observing and doing these commandments, I'm going to set you above all nations on the earth. And see, that goes right in the face of that. Well, we all the same. We all bleed red. Ain't nobody no better than me. I'm no better than nobody else. It don't work like that. This book right here is a black supremacy book. And when I say black, I'm including, or I mean Latino and Native Indian. We are all one family. So when I say black, I'm talking about the whole family, the whole squad. We could be up on high above all nations if we just did observe and did these commandments like the Most High said do. I'm going to go ahead and get to some of these commandments unless you got something out of one.
Go ahead.
All right, Khan. All right, so we got a couple of the commandments coming in. We got Trooper. Okay, first we start off with Brother Stephen Baldwin. He says, "Thou shalt not kill," and "Thou shalt not kill." It's important that we break some of these down because we've been lied to about them for so long. The church tell you that it's 10 commandments. They tell you that it's just 10 of them. Now in that 10, it don't say nothing about you being a sodomite, but it says specifically in Leviticus, that you can't be no sodomite. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because they were sodomites, but that's not listed in the 10. Nobody makes that connection and say, well, hey, if the Lord said we couldn't do that then, that's not in that quote unquote 10. Maybe it's something else to it. And they do that again as a reason to exclude and for them not to follow any kind of law except for passing that basket around and getting your money at the end of the day. Now that law, they're going to follow that law. That law can be old, it can be new, it can be retro, it can be futuristic. It don't matter, but that's the one law they're going to always follow, which shows you the hypocrisy in these religions that we follow. So when it says thou shalt not kill, again, we are warrior people. Exodus 15:3 says the Lord is a man of war. And sometimes he commanded us to go out there and get it. And we had to go out there and we had to put them hands up. And as a man, you may be called upon to defend your house, to defend your nation, to defend your brothers and your sister. So in that case, when it says to kill, that's to murder somebody that's innocent. We live in a society that by the oppressor. The oppressor was blessed with that sword. Oh, he's an excellent unaliver. He loves to unalive. He gets a thrill out of unalive, and he wakes up every day thinking about what I can unalive. This monster will kill or unalive an animal and just to put it up on his wall, so he can wake up every day and walk downstairs and say, "I remember when I took that life." Then the animal will be extinct. Then they want to try to raise money for it. They want to take the last of them, lock them up, put them in a cage. You know what I'm saying? To preserve them all of a sudden. Now they philanthropists and humanitarians all of a sort. That's the type of spirit that this person got. Go ahead, Ottawa.
No, so like I just said, now they're on the endangered species list. Now they're almost taking completely off the planet. No, now we gotta be merciful and make sure we try to bring them back when it's their fault that they're in that space in the first place. They're absolute savages, absolute savages.
Damn right. It makes no sense, but that's the spirit of this oppressor. That's the spirit of this oppressor. So he loves to unalive, and he loves to unalive the innocent. And so when it's talking about that, that's what we were not supposed to do. It's such thing as a righteous. You can be righteous in defending and having to take somebody else's life in a righteous manner. If it matters you defending your life, if it matters you protecting yours, if they're in the wrong. But we're not supposed to unalive just to be unalive. We're not supposed to hurt unalive anybody that's innocent. That's not part of our culture. We have laws and stuff in place for that. That's not our culture. We are the righteous. We're supposed to be the saints on the earth. But this devil, this oppressor, he don't think like that. He don't think like that. And it's amazing. They'll tell us that. And they'll tell us that part of their 10. Now their church will teach that. They're teaching not to defend yourself. They're teaching to sit there and not defend yourself. Let them hurt you. Let them unalive you and everything else. And then you just pray for them. Oh, you just pray for them and it'll be okay. They'll teach you that because, again, that's the exact opposite of that masculinity, that masculine spirit, that warrior spirit that we're supposed to have that we get from the Most High. They teach you the opposite of that because they don't want us. They want us to continue to be at the bottom. They want us to stay at the bottom. And by you removing that spirit, you say you're not supposed to hurt nobody, even though everybody's hurting you. You're not supposed to unalive nobody, even though everybody's unaliving you. Then they can keep on getting away with it. And again, they never ever have to be held accountable for the crime that they've committed. Never ever have to be held accountable. So that's a good one that you brought up, brother Stephen Baldwin. Trooper Kazakia said, "Thou shall not sleep with thy neighbor's wife." There you go. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And when it says neighbor, I was going to actually bring that up a little bit later on. When it says neighbor, who could tell me real quick in the chat, who's your neighbor? When it says that you're not supposed to sleep with your neighbor's wife, the way Trooper Kazakia phrased it, who's your neighbor? If you know who your neighbor is, go ahead and type that in the chat real quick. Because again, it's very important that we break these words down. We get these definitions because this oppressor taught us that whoever next door, that's your neighbor. Now, I don't know about you, Officer Mataza Akara, but I was in my neighborhood for years, and I ain't know none of them people around. Exactly. I may have knew 2 or 3 people. And I think that's common for a lot of us because we had slavery all the time. You know what I'm saying? You had slavery, the children at work, and so forth. So you may be fortunate enough to come home and know this person, that person, but we're not like the oppressor that's going to be at every neighborhood watch. We're not like the oppressor that Karen's is outside wondering who moving in across the street and all that. For the most part, we're just trying to come home, pay them bills, get back up, do it again, and hopefully everybody come home safely at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? So they teach us that. Go ahead, Ottawa. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so like if I could, the other thing too is though our communities are so dispersed now. There was a time where when we were, especially back when we were segregated, we were together. The whole community was together. Everybody did know each other then because that was the vibe of the community. Everybody knew, you knew your folks next door, you knew your folks across the street. Everybody knew each other. But once integration happened, and the community started getting more and more dispersed, more and more, and our brothers and sisters started leaving our communities and moving as close as they could to the oppressor. Well, now you got those situations where you may not know. You may not know because we naturally still gravitate towards each other. I think most of us are naturally still a little weary of the oppressor, even if we're not in the school. All of us are pretty, like, all right, hold on, I don't know you that well. But that's what ends up happening where you don't know your neighbors now. You don't know your neighbors now if you're in the suburbs and you're a brother. You might know a couple of them. You might know a brother around the corner or something, but The oppressor across the street and right next to you, nah, you ain't know them, and you ain't interested in them. You ain't
There you
interested in
go.
them. And that's a
Come
good
on.
thing, but we just got to get back to being with ourselves, get back to being collectively together, so we can still have that, and we can really know who our neighbor is, and it's our brother. I
Like
yield.
the Bible says, oh, Khan, the water for that, the water for that. Like the Bible says, no, I'm no the man who labor among you. You know what I'm saying? And then just like the brothers and sisters putting in the chat right here, I asked them who was your neighbor, and we got some answers coming in. Sister Nazar Manah said, your brother, give her a hand. Stephen Baldwin said, your brother, give him a hand. Trooper Kazaki said, your fellow Israelite brother. Again, that's your neighbor. Those are your neighbors. So when it's talking about the neighbors, talking about the children that I can. We make I had actually wrote that scripture down as well. That's going to be found in Leviticus 19 and 18. And we might go ahead and pull. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull that away. First, I'm going to say Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahweh Shai, the sister Ra'aya in the building. But we're gonna go ahead and pull that real quick. Let's pull that real quick. Let's prove that real quick. Let's prove who your brother really is. So again, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back to that same one passage we were on. I may have already pulled it up. This is again good way for you to kind of see how it works, how the system works. We're gonna go right to Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 19, I believe. I think it's 19 and 18, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, right on it. Leviticus 19 and 18. And it says, if Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. And when you're talking about the children of thy people, you know how we talk. Them your kinfolk. Them your kinfolk. That's your family. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the most high power. So again, when it's talking about your neighbor, it's talking about the children of thy people. You know, that's your neighbor. Your people are your neighbor. Your other blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians are your neighbor. And this oppressor, the same oppressor that told us that your neighbor is the one who lived next door to you, that's the same one that told us that them Mexicans, that's not your brother.
Right.
The Dominicans, that's not your brother. And they told them, the black folk, that's not your brother, which is an absolute lie. If you black, Latino, Native Indian, we all family. We are family. We are one. Damn right, Officer Urashima. We family. We family, but again, because we don't know this word, we don't know what this book says, we don't know that. Because that church does not teach that. We don't know that. That church teacher, matter of fact, that church will teach you whoever you sit next to. Whoever you sit next to in church, turn to your neighbor and say this, and turn to your neighbor on your left and say that. That church gonna teach you your neighbor is who you sit next to, which is an absolute not true. It's a lie. It's a damn lie. Your neighbor is your brother, your sister, just like everybody put in the chat. So the water to y'all. What else we got? What else we got? Some of these laws we supposed to be following. Oh yeah, where we stop at? Okay, all right. Their sister Nazama now said, "Don't trespass against our brother." Again, we are taught through the entertainment, through the music, through the television, from the oppressor to hurt each other, to trespass against one another. When the Bible tells us specifically not to do that, the Bible says we're supposed to prefer each other, prefer their own. And we don't do that. We, like you said, how our neighborhoods have gotten, you know what I'm saying, over the decades, where they're so dilapidated. Now you scared of the brother that's next door to you. You scared of them coming out shooting up the neighborhood later on. You know what I'm saying? You got your head on the swivel as you leaving out, going to your casa. You can go to your slavery in the morning. And it should absolutely not be that way. We should feel safe around one another. We should want to be around one another. Our antennas shouldn't have to go up until we get around the oppressor of the other nations. And the sad part about it, it's the opposite almost. It's almost the opposite. We worry so much about each other. We get around the other nations, and it's a free fall. Yep. We going to the Chinese place. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And we assume that they really care about us. Oh, that's Ming Me. That's Ming Lee right there. They can kill us. But I've seen so many stories. You know what I'm saying? Side note of them serving up food molded. Rice with maggots and stuff in it. I just saw a story out of one. I don't know if you've seen it. I should have pulled that one up, but I just saw a story where the Chinese restaurant had like 13 cats. 13 cats they took them down. They done took. They had to come and they go into the store. They bringing the cats out. You know what I'm saying? And
like,
how would you think
they probably started off with 20 cats. They just found 13 cats.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Between 7 and 10 of them, they done been in somebody chicken fried rice or General Tso's chicken, and they done ate those up. And again, we so trusting though when it comes to these other nations. We're so trusting when we see that devil, that oppressor in the suit. Oh, he got me. We're so trusting. It's so many stories where it's done been things going on. We'll call the oppressor, we'll call the slave patrol, we'll call the police. They'll get there and they unalive the person they called them. Exactly. They end up locking up the person they called them. But we trust them so much. We trust these politicians. We trust Democratic and Republican. We be on the job arguing. We be on the savior arguing with somebody. Oh, you need to vote. If you don't vote, well, you can't say nothing. What you mean I can't say nothing? They've never done nothing for us. It's not for us. Matter of fact, the Bible specifically tells us we're not supposed to be voting. We're not supposed to do it. But again, we trust these other nations. We trust this oppressor so much. We put our guard down when it comes to them. But when it comes to our own people, like the sister was saying, we quit the trespass against one another.
Lucky if I could. Part of that too, because we're so destroyed, and we want the love of the suppressor so much that a lot of our people feel like once they're able to get in them spaces where they're around their oppressor, that to your point, they want to love them so much, they feel so accepted, they feel like they've made it. Now I'm at the point where I can let my guard down. Now I'm at the point where I can relax because I've gotten to some level that I'm trying to get to, and because I'm around all these oppressors, that must mean I'm here. And then you have situations. I don't know I can't remember the sister's name. It's a lock you for that, but the sister that there was some kind of grown adult slumber party where it was something like, I don't know, 10 or 15 oppressors and her. And then the next morning, she's laid out in the yard and nobody knows what happened. This is what happened. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what happened. And that's just gone. The family then tried to fight it and nobody's doing anything. But on some level in her mind, I'm sure she thought she had made it because look at where I am.
I remember the pictures. She was just as happy and proud to be sitting there with her white friends. She was just as proud to be with a grown woman in her PJ, but she just as happy and proud to be there with her white friend. And then like you said, next morning she gone. Don't nobody know what happened. Yep. Everybody, I don't know. And the sad part about it, I couldn't even imagine that situation reversed. I couldn't imagine it being a bunch of sisters, one white girl or one white woman, and something end up happening to her, and they don't end up snitching on each other. No, so I can't imagine that happen. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna tell something because we're gonna rush to make sure we protect them at all costs. First of
all, everybody's going to jail. Exactly. That's the first move. Everybody in the house. If roles reverse, everybody in the house is going to jail. Everybody in the house, until we figure this out, everybody's going to get locked up. That's what would have happened if it was reversed. Until somebody breaks, everybody's going down. Yeah.
And just like how, I was talking about earlier, how, you got a lot of us, Latinos, Black, Native Indians, so forth out here protesting, free Gaza. Let that situation will be reversed. You don't hear no outrage in the street about this sister just coming up missing. And that's just one story. That's something that happens. Actually, that's pretty common. That's just one story that just happened to make it to the national news. And some reporter just happened to run it again and stayed on top. But that happens all the time with us. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they just came out with something called an Amber Alert. I thought they were being kind of funny Amber Alert or something like that. I thought they were being funny when I first heard it.
I thought it was a joke too. I was like,
I felt some kind of way when I first heard it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But it's in response to so many of our sisters, our children go missing. Nobody cares nothing about it. I mean, like thousands upon thousands. You got like what 85 thousand of our children missing right now, coming across that border. It's untold counts of our sisters, Native Indian sisters on their reservation go missing all the time, and they're so used and accustomed to it. You hear nothing about it whatsoever.
So, like, if I could,
go ahead, Alwan.
This is also the proof that whole Ebony Alert thing. That's also the proof that our people should look at that like they really don't care because they have a whole infrastructure set up. It's called the Amber Alert, but they have an entire infrastructure set up and they could push the button when they find out a young Black girl has gone missing. The infrastructure is there, but they're not going to use that one. They're going to set up this other thing. And mark my words, it's not going to work as well. It's not going to be as effective. It's going to have all types of problems.
Oh, cut out. Yeah, I don't. I have no trust or faith in it whatsoever. It just kind
Mm-hmm.
of struck me as odd that, you know what I'm saying. I actually heard it. I can't wait to see the first one pop up on the phone. You know what I'm saying? The first one to pop up on the phone. But we got a couple comments coming in. Officer Urash Maf said they become envious of our oppressor, and in the result, they hurt their own people. Exactly. We so envious of the oppressor, and I think for so long, like that was your path to success. You know, we always talk about slavery. We talk about it in your class. We talk about slavery. Slavery was like Bitcoin when Bitcoin first got on the scene. Everybody had their hands in it. Slavery was
Mm-hmm.
common. It affected everybody's lives in some way, shape, fashion, or form. Everybody was in on it. So even us, to the point, well, you know, you can get you a couple slaves, and you get you a couple slaves and get this, and that way you can work this for cheap. And so a lot of us, like Officer Urash Mouth is saying, we became so envious of that oppressor. We hurt our own. We don't even think about us hurting our own. It's successful. It's legal. I've heard that mess so many times. Well, it's legal, even though they know it's wrong. We don't even think about the moral complications or the moral convictions with it. We don't think about none of that stuff anymore. You know what I mean? And that's again what we need to. We got to try to get back to. You know what I'm saying? As far as the people, Trooper Kazaki has said, a lot of us take more pride being around our oppressor, and we'll talk behind your back to your oppressor, and that's absolutely correct. We'll talk about each other to the oppressor. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about each other. We so shameful. So it's so disrespectful. We so disrespectful to one another when we're around them, showing out for them. You know what I'm saying? Showing out for them, putting on a good show for them. But
to be the token.
Oh yeah.
Just so proud to be the token, proud to be in the building, and feeling like because we're there with them, that puts us on some higher level than it does the rest of our brothers and sisters. So it put, now we can talk down about them. Now we can look down on our brothers and sisters. It's horrible not knowing that feeling and getting in that space and having that perception of yourself is absolute destruction. It shows how little you care not only about your people but about yourself at the same time.
Exactly. Sister Raya said DC 11 missing within a month, and it just went away. Exactly. You hear these stories all the time. You can walk into the Walmart. If you ever walk into the Walmart, go over there by the customer service center, where everybody gonna be returning all their stuff after Christmas, after Black Friday. Walk over there and look at that wall. That wall is constantly filled. I don't care what city I'm in, what state I'm in. It's always filled with our women, our sisters, our children. Everywhere I go, and you don't hear about none of that. You don't hear about any of that. And so it's very common because we let our guard down when we get around this oppressor. We let our guard down, and we refuse to do what the Most High tells us. We don't prefer our own. We don't prefer our own. We prefer the oppressor, even though that's what we should be wary of. That's what we need to be careful of. That's what we need to have our guard up with when it comes to that oppressor. That's what we need to have our guard up with.
And again, this becomes another issue of the Christian church. When you teach, you got to love and forgive everybody, and you're not supposed to judge, and they're supposed to be, you're supposed to get justice later after you, and it's not even really justice that the Christian church teaches. They just said you're gonna be okay later. But as far as any justice, well, vengeance is of the Lord, and you shouldn't expect nothing, and so on and so forth. That's the problem, because then we let our guard down around our true enemy. We let our guard, and you should listen. You don't even need to necessarily be in the ISUPK to understand. You shouldn't to understand that the oppressor is the enemy. There's enough just flat out history. Even if you just take the big three, what is it? Slavery, Jim Crow, and MLK. Just what they teach you in school should let you know this is your damn enemy.
It should cut out.
It shouldn't be difficult. But the Christian church says you gotta forgive and you gotta love everybody. So now now I gotta love them. Well, they weren't the ones that did it. And you go down that road, and now I'm around them. I'm gonna let my guard down, and you end up outside unalive, and don't nobody know what happened.
Bottom of a lake somewhere in the doggone trash bag. Ain't nobody seen you.
Ain't nobody know nothing.
Ain't nobody seen you. But like Sister now was saying, give her a hand. Ecclesiastes 12 says, never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. But again, and that's scripture, but we don't know scripture. Matter of fact, we don't even know who our enemies is. And we're gonna go to that too. That's gonna be back in that Deuteronomy 28 as well. We're gonna go to that Deuteronomy 28 as well before we get up out of here again. We're gonna go to verse 68 when it's telling you that we were sold to our enemies. But see, that church doesn't teach that. The church teaches you that's the imposter that was sold. That's the imposter that was sold. Even though the imposter is peddling this paper that I'm writing on right here, but somehow, some kind of way, he blended into Africa. He blended into Africa with all these ashy, dark-skinned folks. He blended in. He was able to hide amongst them the whole time. Fled there in 70 AD the whole time, and it fits him when they know doggone well it doesn't fit them. They know it doesn't fit them, but they so bent on not teaching us our history. They're allowing you and tell you that it was him, that it's the imposter that did all that. And so we grow up not knowing who our enemy is. We grow up not knowing that, hey, we shouldn't trust them. But like you say, common sense, use your eyes, look around you. Common sense should tell you, hey, I shouldn't really trust them people. They got a real bad track record. It's like that old saying, and I know you done heard it. I know a lot of y'all probably have heard it before as well. I think it got famous when Ali said it. Ali was doing an interview. I think the guy with the white guy was it Cronkite. One of them he was doing an interview with. I forget his name. And he was like, trying to gauge him, talking about how he felt about white folks at that time. The NOI was real big on their stands, him, Malcolm X, so forth, as far as not trusting white people. Even though that's another, it's really white supremacy as well, wrapped up into the guise of we don't trust them, we don't trust the man. You believe that if you want to. All religion is white supremacy when you boil it down. But one of the things that he said, he was like, if I got 12, 15 or whatever good snakes in a pit of 100 vipers, poisonous snakes, do I let all of them in and try to figure out which ones is which, or I don't let none of them in? You know what I'm saying? And it's a good example because in an example like that, as skittish as we are as a people, you know what I'm saying, we ain't let none of them snakes in. I done seen a real active fool when it comes to spiders and snakes and so forth. It don't matter if it's a garden snake. It don't matter what kind of spider it is. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna tear the house down to get away from it. If we only had that same idea, that same philosophy when it came to the oppressor, we'd be much, much better off. Much better off. Sister Raya said, "Master, our house burning. What we gonna do?" And she absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. We more concerned about him. We more concerned about the house when it's not us. It's not ours. Never been ours. I love that sticker. Well, I made it into a sticker of Stephen from Django. You know what I'm saying? When he holding old Calvin, he holding him for dear life, like, oh master, no, Calvin, no. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we are as a people. That's how we are as a people. And like Sister Ryan said, we still in that mentality as a people to this day, and that's absolutely correct. Give her a hand. That's absolutely correct. All right, so we're gonna get through these. We're gonna have to start making this class 3-hour class. We'll never get to dog. I start making this a 3-hour class. All right, but let's get to a couple more of these commandments. But that's great, and that's awesome that y'all know them, because again, so many of our people don't know the commandments. So many of our people, and I'm gonna bring that up as well. With it being Halloween tonight, and I'll let y'all think about it before I ask the question. I'm gonna ask y'all a little precursor. I'm gonna ask you how many mass shootings have been so far this year. How many mass shootings we done had so far this year? Then because just over Halloween weekend, and this was calculated a couple of days before we even got to here. So I can just imagine how many there's been in the last couple of days. It was already about 13 mass shootings we had, and we don't realize, just like you were saying, that's the Lord. That's the Lord. You're not supposed to follow these holidays. You're not supposed to be out here celebrating this man. And even though he unaliving at a massive scale, 13 mass shootings in the last couple of days for Halloween, we still out here, kids dressed up, knocking on people's doors, getting candy all year long. getting candy. Even though, like I saw him on one post on Facebook, the brother was saying how, we tell our kids don't take nothing from strangers. But today it's cool. It's fine today.
Today is cool.
Today is cool. No fun. It's okay today. It's okay today. All right, so let's get through the rest of these commandments y'all put in. All right, we got brother. I think that's John. I think that John Wren or no, I think that's the first brother that logged in. I think. I'm gonna say J1 and J2. Young man J1 and young man J2. No, but he absolutely correct when he said to honor your mother and father. And that's a very important one because, see, with that one right there, we've been lied to so much about that particular scripture right there. That church have you thinking that to honor your mother and father, that means that when grandma cooked this Christmas dinner, I got to go because, you know, that's grandma. That's grandma. When your mama say, well, why you ain't taking them kids out for Halloween? I used to take you. Well, I got to honor my mother and father. But that's not what the scripture is talking about when it says to honor thy mother and father. When you follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, when you follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, now you're being honorable. Now you're honoring your mother and your father because you doing what the Most High said do, even if they're not, even if you're not. That's honoring your mother and your father. When you actually teaching your child love, even if you was never taught it, that's honoring your mother and your father. So the young man is absolutely correct. We're supposed to honor our mother and our father. You can't honor your mother and your father if you're not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. You want to add anything on that, Officer Mataz Zakaria?
I think you wrapped it up absolutely perfectly, but I will add, especially most of us who come into the truth, our parents are not in the truth, and that is an entire battle. If you have the benefit of having your parents still in your life, and you come into the truth, that is a battle. But what you said was so heavy is that the fact that you are coming into the truth, the fact that you have decided you're going to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and follow the Most High, do what you as an Israelite are supposed to do. That's absolute honor to your mother and father. They don't see it that way because they are Christians. They are Christians, so they don't know what that means. To your point, Yagadar, they believe that if you honor me and you love me, then you'll just do what I say and make me happy. And you should. And essentially, what they're saying, and this is what we don't really sometimes we don't process. What they're saying is, you should love me more than you love the Most High. That's absolutely honor. That's what the Christian church teaches. If you do what I say, if you do what I say, and you make me happy, then you are honoring me. But in doing that, you're showing that you love them more than you love the Most High, and that should never be the case.
And you are Falaki, but you are absolutely correct, out of one. Because I was going to actually touch on that with the single mothers and honor your mother. So a lot of our young men end up becoming feminized, or they end up becoming having a grudge against their father for not being there because they're trying to honor their mother. They're trying to honor their mother, and it's just like you said. The Bible says if you're not able to hate mother and father, you're not worthy of me. And when it's saying that exact same thing. The Most High is supposed to come above all and above everybody else. When you come into this Israelite school, universal practical knowledge, one of the first things that you learn that, hey, you're going to lose. You might lose something along the way. You might lose some family along the way. You might lose a brother or a sister. You might lose your mother, grandmother, and so forth as well. But if you can't take that, if you can't lose that, you can't gain the love of the Most High. You can't gain that perfect love, that perfect understanding. You can't gain that wisdom. You can't gain that wisdom of the Bible if you're not willing to lose that. Because if not, that means you're gonna do everything wrong just to appease them. And that's exactly what this oppressor is always counting on. This oppressor's counting on that. He's counting on that. Oh, he grew up without his dad. We locked his dad up at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So all he had was his mother. He saw his mother jump from this man to that man and this man to that man. So he got to love the 304s. He gonna have to love him. He can't never stand up against him and say it's wrong. He gonna have to accept it, creating that duality in our mind where we don't know, we can't even say what's right and what's wrong anymore. You know what I'm saying? So they play on that. They play on that. One thing Sister Raya said, she said after that oppressor woman shot a black mother through a closed door. And I think that was in reference to, Halloween and how they going and knocking on different doors or whatever. She's absolutely correct. Now, and if you look at that story, I think we talked about that a little bit in class. But if you look at that story, that lady had been berating the children, going off on the children, get off my lawn, so forth. She had swung on the kids with a hang or something. She had took the kids' tablet, you know what I mean, the whole nine. And in that case, the mother came over there, knocking on the door. The lady shot right through the door and unalived her. You know what I'm saying? And we still telling our kids we're gonna go knock on door to door for some doggone candy. We're gonna knock on door to door for some candy. And again, it always goes back to, like I be trying to tell our people, we love on command how the oppressor tells us to love on command. We hate on command how the oppressor tells us to hate on command. It's whatever they say do. It don't matter if it has no kind of rhyme or reason to it. If it makes no sense whatsoever, if the oppressor say do it, then we're gonna do it. And we don't realize that.
Rocky Yagadar, if I could.
Go ahead, Alma.
This just hit me, right? Even back when we were younger, I'm dating myself a little bit. When back when we were younger, one of the first things after you went out and got your little candy, one
Check
of the
that
first
candy.
things thank you, you had to check your damn candy.
Kalala.
Now, now, at the time when you're a child, and you just let's check the candy so I can eat the candy. But what kind of situation were we put in and putting our children in? Go ahead, go ask for all this free candy. We know there's some sickos out here who's gonna try to poison you and hurt you and do all of this. So let's just check the candy. How about
Kyle,
we don't participate?
Kyle Khan. Kyle Khan. No,
I mean,
no,
again,
no,
that's
no.
common sense. Listen, we gotta check the candy. Well, clearly your child is in danger. But then you start by that with, do you really think all these oppressors are loving all these black children? No, they don't. They absolutely don't. But go get some free candy from them. That's psychotic.
Exactly.
That just doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense whatsoever. And we don't, Salaki out of one, we don't apply none of that common sense to it. We just came up off of COVID. The oppressor don't like to wash. They don't like to wash. They don't like to wash their hands. You can go in any restroom, any gas station there is. They'll walk up in there. They do their business, walk out, won't even think about touching no soap and water. They don't think about touching no soap and water. You can Google right now online on them and baths and so forth. They don't bathe like you think they bathe. They damn sure don't bathe like we bathe. So just in that alone, why would you want to put anything in your body that they didn't handle, period. And like you were saying, as far as checking the candy, I know you probably remember back then we had a lot of issues with them putting razor blades and stuff inside of the candy. So a lot of times when we was checking it, that's what we was checking it for. We weren't checking it for no poison. We could care less about some poison. We didn't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? We checked it for some razor blade. And truth be told, if it wasn't a razor blade sticking out of it, you still didn't know if no one was in there. You still don't eat it. So it was really pointless to quote unquote check it. But like you saying, the fact that you got to go back and check it, ding 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 ding. This ain't safe. We shouldn't be doing it. Period.
This ain't safe.
Shouldn't be doing it. Period. Shouldn't be doing it. Period. Sister Nas said it doesn't make sense to take candy from my enemy. It doesn't. It really makes no sense to take anything from your enemy. If I want to destroy, that's like when you hear all these stories about clones and this and that. We so brainwashed. We do exactly what the oppressor wants to do. If the oppressor want to take all of us out right now, all he had to do is we're gonna have a meeting, we're gonna put in that candy, and we're gonna get rid of 80% on right here tonight. Or you'll slap free on something. It's gonna be free or 50% off. We're gonna get rid of 30-40% of them right there off top because we trust them when we shouldn't be trusting them. So the sister is absolutely correct. Sister Rod said, Loom. Yep. That commercial. I remember when I first seen it, that doggone Loom commercial with a lady, the oppressor lady. I don't know if you ever seen that.
I don't think I see that. I'm confused right now. Tell me, please.
This is a soap. This is a quote unquote. I don't even think it's a soap, but it may be a soap. I don't think it's no soap, but it's almost like a deodorant that they put on so that they don't smell. So and she specifically says in the commercial that you can go up to 3 or 4 days and you don't have to take a shower.
It says that on the commercial?
It says that specifically. I'm not
they're marketing to people that don't bathe on a regular basis? Damn. All right.
Can't make this up about one. I mean, she is absolutely correct. So that you don't have to bathe. And because it tripped me out when I first seen it because, again, COVID hit in 2020. One of the main things they were saying with COVID is wash your hands. I'm scratching my head like y'all should be washing your damn hands anyway, COVID or no COVID. But that's something that they don't do. So then you immediately come out with a product so you don't have to bathe for 3 days. And really, it's okay nobody smell you. It ain't really. It ain't even. It don't say that it eliminate no germs or nothing like that.
Like it if I could.
Go ahead.
This was years ago, and I mean, I'm not surprised at the lack of bathing. I'm just surprised they made a product for it. That's crazy. But this was 2 or 3 years before COVID. Easy. I'm on the slavery, and it's relatively early one morning. And this Shisa walks in and makes the announcement. And this is what I realized. This is what I fully realized. Yeah, y'all don't do a whole lot of bathing at all. She makes the announcement that she went on took a shower this morning because she hadn't in a few days. And of course, I'm looking like, Did she really say that? And I look around and nobody else was. I was like, oh, all right, that's what y'all do. Got it. So
Hey,
yeah.
look, out of what? Salaki, check it out of what? Wait, Sister Raya is absolutely on it. Absolutely on it.
Absolutely.
Loom, check it out.
Oh
Hey,
man.
this old starter pack you can get right here. It's a starter pack, 30% off. You scroll down. What we get? What we get? Okay, give you all that. Okay, yeah, right here, perfect. We didn't invent deodorant. This ain't even soap. It's a deodorant now, powered by a certain acid, clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. When she in commercial, this is how she is marketing it. This is how she promoting it. Well, you ain't got to bathe for 72 hours. Can't make this. You can't make this. Clinically proven that this is, I'm telling you, this is their big selling tool right here. But we trust these people. We getting candy from these people. This is who in charge of the FDA. This is who tells you what's safe and what ain't safe. Come on, man. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. So the Sister Raya is absolutely on it. Absolutely on it. Again, hey, the oppressor, the devil the Bible speak of, woman, man, and child. They the damn devil that the Bible speak of. You cannot make it up. Can't make it up. And it's so adverse to our own culture. Yeah. Even if you ain't in the truth, we are a clean people. We're clean people. Not to say everyone you run across of us is going to be clean, going to have the best house. A lot of us didn't have that kind of home training anyway, so it wasn't passed down. So it's got lost amongst a lot of us. But inherently, we are a clean people. Inherently, they are not.
No.
They are not. Going to a oppressive house, looking at their bathroom. I bet you ain't gonna find no washcloth.
Oh, Salaki. Have you seen the joint online? I should have sent it to you something. So it's a sister, and she says, "So y'all want to know why? We think white folks don't use washcloths." She said, "Well, I can show you better than I can tell you." And then it's a series about 5 to 10 oppressors talking about how they don't use washcloths.
Yep.
Over and over again. One of them even said, how you phrase it? He said, washcloths are for poor people.
God, I remember that part.
You saw that part? Okay, you did see it. Okay, it's like
that's for the poor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean they not us and we not them. It's a despicable thing that church teaches us we are the same people and we're not.
Exactly.
It's sad they teach us we the same people and we're not. And we're not. I remember my rib telling me when she was in college, how her white roommates and the oppressor, the she-saws, they get that head to shoulders and they use that head to shoulders from head to shoulder. from head to toe. That's all they would use. And because the water and the soap and it all ran down, they didn't do enough. And so again, it's not uncommon. This is who them people are. That's who they are.
Mind you, and again, I go back to the Christian church because 50 years ago we weren't the same people. We weren't the same people.
So when that happened,
they don't think that we're the same people.
They know we're not.
We're not the same people. They know we're not the same people. They know we're not the same people, but the Christian church teaches us to be on.
Damn right. Damn right. The water out of one, you're absolutely correct. Sister Nazama Nah says, love your wife like you love the church. And even that one, that's another one that they try to take and they try to misconstrue this right here when you hear this. They try to misconstrue this to be like, I don't know if you've seen the video. The lady getting married to the brother, quote unquote, getting married to the brother. Now we teach the truth in here, especially for the young man that's in the class listening. Sex is marriage. You lay down with that woman. That woman lay down with you. You are married. You are married. Sex is married. You can have multiple wives, but she can only have one husband. And you cannot leave her. And it's until death do you part. And like Captain Natazat in the shot always said, you can't kill each other. You know what I'm saying? You can't kill each other. That's you and that's her. That's how it's supposed to be. Sex is marriage. But in this video, they get married. You get to the part where they go on for richer, for poor, and she stutter step. She stutter step, right? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing that. She got it all white on. You can tell the brother done spent some money on this, right? Oh, I don't know about that one. So they kind of gloss over that one. He get to the point where to honor the old thing. Says obey. She tell him to skip that part.
So you say she glossed over for Richard, but they just
when it said Richard or poor, she stutter step like, hold on now.
And
Hold
they
on, you
just
want
kept
to
going. They just
and
kept going.
the sad part about it, the pastor's going along with this mess. He
Right.
finally get her to save for richer for poor. They get to
Okay,
the
sister.
obey part. Nah, we can skip that. And he skips it. He skips it. Yeah. So a lot of them have taken this love your wife like you love the church to misconstrue it. But that's not what it's saying when it says this verse right here. Christ loved it. When it says to love your wife like you love the church, Christ, we are the church, we are the body. So the way that Christ, Yahweh Shai has loved us, even though we done been the most disrespectful thing we can possibly be.
Right.
We done followed every God that we possibly could follow. We are right now knocking on door to door, following a different God right now to this day, and Christ still loves us. So when it's saying that, we're supposed to be faithful like that. Now, for the young man in the class, again, let me make sure I clarify. That don't mean that if your woman, your wife, after you done laid down with her, she gonna lay with another man, you are forbidden to mess with her anymore. You can't go back to her. No, you can't go back to her. It don't work that way. So when it's saying that, that's not to say that she's supposed to be in control. You do everything she say do. You get down on one knee, you get her a ring, and you get her that, because that's how you supposed to love your wife like you love the church. It's not saying that. It's not saying that whatsoever. None whatsoever. It's not saying that. What it is saying that you are supposed to be faithful. And you can't throw that woman away. You supposed to honor supposed to honor that commitment when you lay down with her and so forth. So, like she said, you're supposed to love your wife like you love the church. Which means when you lay down with that woman, you can't just pass off, throw her to another brother, and that's the end of it. Don't work like that. Don't work like that. As disrespectful we were, Christ didn't give up on us, and we supposed to be the same way with our brothers and our sisters and our brothers, vice versa. You have anything to add on that, out of one?
It's like, yeah, if I could, I mean, and again, we always have to remember too that, you know, 11th chapter of First Corinthians, it says, you know, Christ is the head of every man, man is the head of every woman, and the Most High is the head of Christ. So yes, you lay down with a woman, that is your woman, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. It
Damn right.
comes with a lot of responsibility, and it comes with and the idea is you want to make sure, because it's such a serious undertaking, you want to make sure that you are not making this decision off of your carnal desires. You want to make sure that you have measured and gotten to know this woman. That's why in the school there's a 6-month period in which a brother and sister court each other so they can get to know each other before they lay down. Because listen, everybody don't get along. Everybody don't get along. And it's not about being happy, it's about making a decision and keeping a commitment. And when you are a brother and you take on a wife, there is a lot of responsibility. As Yagadar said, it's not about just making her happy and this, that, and the third. There are gonna be some things that you're gonna have to do that she's just not gonna like. And that is what it is. Now that's your responsibility to guide, correct, protect, and all of that. And she has a certain responsibility too, to make sure she is submissive in the correct manner and receptive to the guidance that you provide. Just like we have to be receptive to Christ as He commands us and to do and not do, the woman has to be the same to the man. So there's a lot to take on when you talk about taking on a wife. All right, it's lucky. That's all
And
right.
oh no, you right on it. I wasn't gonna pull this, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull something to back that up as well, because I think that's a very, very important part. Very important part. It ain't got nothing to do with how she look. You got to realize with age, that beauty is gonna change over time.
I'm not-
She gonna gain a little bit more in the middle over time. She's not gonna look how she looked when you first met her. So a lot of that beauty is vanity. That don't mean anything. That means nothing whatsoever. But unfortunately, we've been taught that's all that's important. That's the only thing that matters. She ain't gotta have nothing upstairs in between her ears. But as long as she look good, she fine, boy. She good. I take it. You're going to give yourself over to her, which again is not what the Bible was saying. So I just wanted to pull this scripture right here real quick. Proverbs chapter 6. And actually, I'm gonna start at 24. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 24. All right, so Proverbs chapter 6, verse 24 says to keep thee from the evil woman. By you going off of how she looked. And by you going off of, you know what I'm saying, by the way she looked, the way she talked to you and all that, you might mess around and get you an evil woman from the
Mm-hmm.
flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Because she's saying all the right things you want to hear. She down, she ready to go. She's saying all the stuff you want to hear. That ain't what you're supposed to base that decision off of. That's not how you pick and choose a wife. And verse 25 is the one that I want to get to, because I think this is exactly what also Mataza Akura was saying. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart. When the Bible talks about your heart, it's talking about your mind. So you're not supposed to lust after her beauty, how fine she is in your mind. It's all you worried about. It's all you concerned about. And not at all. It said, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. So again, it's not based on what she looked like. It's not based on how fine she is, what she none of that whatsoever. When you make that decision, you lay down with a woman, you make her your wife. Same thing for that woman. When you make him your husband, that's a lifelong decision, and it comes with lifelong implications. So you want to definitely make sure that when you choose a woman, you choose her for her virtue, you choose her for her mind. You really want to choose her because she's following the Lord. She following the Lord. That should be the main thing you're looking for. Because if she gonna follow the Lord, like also Mataza Akra said, it's an order to this thing. It's an order. The head of Christ is the Most High, and the head of us, the head of the man, is Christ, and the head of that woman is man. So if she gonna follow the Most High, that means she gonna follow and listen to you. And I just want to bring it out. Unless you want to add anything to the outer one.
Nah, I'm good to go.
All right, so then we also got Sister Anna said not to commit adultery. And again, in adultery is you sleeping with that man sleeping with another man's wife, and it's that woman going and sleeping with another man. Period. You know what I'm saying? So again, we're not supposed to do that. That destroys their community. That destroys you. You imagine a young man seeing his mother sleep with this man and that man and that man, and how that destroys and messes up his mind as he's growing up. Same thing for that young woman. Watching her mother do that, what it's teaching them. We done got so caught up in this oppressor and what this oppressor says to do. We don't even think about what it's doing to the children. We don't think about what it's doing to the children at all. Sister Raya said it's easy to submit when you have head that is devoted and in the truth. Exactly. And that goes back to what we saw when we first read 1 John 5:3. These commandments aren't grievous. But it's like it's almost like a links and chain. When you skip one, it makes it much harder to get to that next link because you done skipped this one right here. So if we all in order and we following the Most High, it's gonna make everything else fall in line like it should be. We'll get to what we got to get to. So the sister is absolutely correct. You have anything on that outer one?
That's my rib. So wow.
Go ahead, outer one.
No, I'm just saying that's my rib. So I appreciate the shout out.
They're right. All right, so young man, we already talked about the thou shalt murder, thou shalt not kill. We're not supposed to unalive the innocent. Sister Nazama Mana said we are the salt of the earth, and that's a very important one too. We don't realize just how special we are, how vital we are. Everything that they have in society comes from us. We think that we the low. We think the only thing we good for is the new dance and running the ball. If I can run this ball, I can do this new dance. Oh, I'm good to go. And if for the sisters, how big my behind is, how big my chest is. That's all we think. That's the only value that we have, and we have so much more value. When really them things ain't valuable at all. They're not valuable at all because you don't build a nation because you can run a ball. You don't build a nation because your behind was big. You don't build a nation like that. But you do build a nation based off following these laws, statutes, and commandments. You do build a nation out by not trespassing against your brother and your sister. All the laws and all the commandments that we listed so far, that's how you actually build a nation.
If I could,
go ahead, other one.
That also, and you reference it often. The Form of All Things, the series on the YouTube.
Damn right. Y'all check that out.
Another thing. That's another thing, though, that our people lack. We don't know how valuable we are to this oppressor. That in and of itself should, when you get to, when you start learning all of the benefits, not just, you don't even have to go back to slavery. All of the inventions, all of the intelligence, all of the smarts, all of the ability to figure things out that this oppressor.
The bathing.
The bathing, right? Exactly. They need to learn that, but clearly fighting against it. But when you start learning all of the inventions and the things that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have done to benefit this oppressor's kingdom. And that's something that we miss again because we're not gathered together and having our own schools, having our people teach our people about our history. What we have is the oppressor teaching us about the oppressor's history. And
That's right.
because of that, we don't know that we're the salt of the earth. We don't know. We don't have. We even if we happen to read it in the Bible, we don't have the evidence for it. The evidence is there. The evidence is absolutely there. Y'all check out the Film on All Things, that series on No Cowards Virginia, No Cowards Richmond. Y'all check it out because there's a lot of information there that will show you how much this oppressor benefits, and it is a lot. And between the inventions, between what the Civil War, let me see, the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, and I think it was World War One or World War Two. Correct me if I'm which one, Yagada, when the Native Indians.
I think we was integral in both of them out of one.
Okay, I was thinking about when the Native Americans had the
Oh, I think that was
had
one.
the code communication, so nobody could figure it out. We have helped this wicked oppressor become who he is in a way that's invaluable. But our people don't know it, so we don't know as much as right as our sister was that we are absolutely salt of the earth. We don't know it. They keep it from us in order to keep us broken down and beat down.
But you're absolutely correct. You know, you hear that whole reparations talk now. You get so many of us is out in the world that get happy and get excited about it, not realizing that those are pennies. That, as a matter of fact, it's less than pennies on the dollar. It's less than pennies on the dollar. Everything that this nation has, it comes from us. Everything the other nations around the world have, it comes from us, and we don't realize that. Not some stuff, but everything. We are at the center of everything, just like this Bible. Everybody try to take this Bible and use it for themselves, but we at the center. The whole Bible is about us. It's not about nobody else. It's about our interactions with everybody else, but it's about us. And it's the same thing when you look at the world, the economies of the world. It all centers around us. Everything from the very beginning. Insurance, first insurance companies, insurance us, insurance the slave. The banking companies, the different companies, they got their monies from the insurance company, from the banks, based off the slave. Everything came from us. Everything came from us. So the oppressor knows that, though. We just don't realize, and we don't know that. They wholeheartedly know that. When you talk about when they get into their conspiracy theories and they talk about the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs and you know what I'm saying, the Rothschilds and so forth. Well, how did they get those fortunes? How did they amass all those big fortunes? They amassed all those big fortunes off of slavery. Off of slavery, the Amalek, the imposter that's over there right now that owns all your music, all your entertainment. How did he amass that fortune? Well, he financed and insured those boats, those slave boats that we came across. Matter of fact, I want to say I read something where it said 60% of your slave owners was Amalek. So, but they in control of so much. They've done a very good job of hiding that history. So we don't realize that, and as a result, we don't realize how important we are. We stop right now. This whole world stops. This whole everything shuts down when we shut down. Nothing else moves when we stop moving. We want to end. We can end the present right now today. Come together and watch what happens. But this is why they're so invested on keeping us apart. This is why they're so invested on you being, like you saying, being a good Christian. Oh, you're a good Christian. Oh, you good to go. Oh, he get into politics. He a politician. He good to go. He an athlete. Oh, he good to go. Because they know once you get invested in those things by itself inherently is going to pull you away from God. When you get pulled away from God, you're going to be pulled away from your brothers and your sisters. And they know that. So you are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Officer Yerusha says how to economically deal with your people. And that goes back to not trespassing against each other. And I think it goes off the law of usury and taxes and so forth. And obviously Raj put 0% APR 0% APRS or interest simply because you black, no interest rate loan. Meaning, to break that down, meaning if I'm in need, I go Officer Mutazar Karai need A, B, and C. He said he had $100 bet. They go $100. Come back time for me to pay him back. He can't go. Well, give me 150 for the 100, even though that might be a good deal, especially nowadays. He can't go give me 125 for the 100, even as good as deal as it is. That's against our law. Our law says if I borrowed 100, I got to pay him back 100 because that's usury. Now that doesn't apply to the other nations. And see that imposter, he does that with his people. Oh, he does that with his people. Part of the reason why they're so wealthy now, because they do that with one another. Or they'll tax you 100. And I done seen some stuff. Hey, try me that mess if you want to. They be looking for me. You know what I'm saying? But I done seen some things now where it's up to like 165, 175% APR with a straight face. With a straight face, meaning you might go there, you need a loan because you want to buy it. And no poor people are the ones that's gonna need it. So you might go in there, need a loan, need this, and bet you can get it for 200% interest. So that $100 gonna cost you 200.
Yeah.
Off top with a straight face, even though the Bible has laws against that. So I'm Tawada, Officer Urashima, for bringing that one up. This is probably from what we were talking about earlier. Stephen Baldwin said, "I always thought Chinese chicken wings with cat legs." Right. Look, I never forget. I was working at this one slavery, and they used to always go to this Chinese restaurant called American American House, something like that. After work, it's like one of them third shift joints I was working, and I was eating. I swear one night I got some food one night. I used to always love that General Tso's chicken or whatever. And one of the pieces of chicken, it looked exactly like I could swear I saw eyes and beaks and everything else. They gonna tell me I was in the world at the time. So they try to blame it on other influences. You know what I'm saying? But I knew what the hell I saw, and I didn't eat that on.
Right. I know that's right.
But you know what I'm saying? So now the brother is right on. Hey, you better leave Moab and leave Moab alone when it comes to that food. Don't trust them.
So like if I could, I watch a lot of YouTube. I just watch different stuff, and I was watching something last night when we were talking about rabies and how prevalent rabies is in Asian countries. Now, a lot of it because they got a bunch of wild dogs and everything, but a lot of it is because they eat those animals. They eat those animals, and they had several stories about how some cat over there found this stray dog, killed it, skinned it, ate it. A few months later, died from rabies. Same thing with cats. That's just what they do. And listen, and then of course, COVID, they eating bats. They eating everything over there. Everything over there. We have to be absolutely. Yeah. We listen. Stay out of those places. Man. You don't know what they feed you.
And again, that's a Salaki one, but that's a perfect example of how we have benefited the world. We have benefited the entire world because our law said that we couldn't eat those things. Our law told us what fish we could eat, what birds of the air we could eat. Our law told us we couldn't eat swine. Now you imagine if our law didn't exist and you can eat whatever you want. Boy, mankind would have been wiped out 100, 200 some years ago. We've been wiped out. We wouldn't have made it this far at all. You go back to history, you look at the bubonic plague and all of that. They were throwing their feces and urine out the window. They were throwing this stuff out the doggone window. That's where you get that whole saying, a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of. This is what they were actually doing. And people were dying, a whole plague, killing millions of them as a result of it. Why? Because they weren't using a toilet system like we use. They didn't have hygiene like we have hygiene. We have benefited the entire earth, the entire world. You would think with that alone, it would be some kind of gratitude, but it won't be. It won't be because, again, we are the nation that's undesired. And unfortunately, we undesired by each other as well. We have got to get back to preferring our own. Y'all were absolutely right on with these commandments. We're going to try to get to some of these other scriptures we had planned down for it. Sister Coco said, oh, yeah, that's oppressor. Ain't nothing nice. Ain't nothing nice and ain't nothing clean about them either. Ain't nothing nice, ain't nothing clean at all. A couple of things I wanted to get to. We've already touched a little bit. Real quick, we already talked about our enemies and who our enemies are. It's very important that you know that. You can find that in Ecclesiastes 12:6. Never trust thine enemy, like Sister Naha brought up earlier. And you can also find in Deuteronomy 28:68, where it says that we were going to be sold to our enemies. So I'm just going to bring that up real quick. We're going to jump on that real quick, and then we're going to go to some of these other ones. And just a couple of things going on in the world I wanted to bring out. So let's pull that up real quick first. All right, so we got Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. You go to Exodus 20 and 2. It says, I'll bring you out of the house of out of Egypt, the house of bondage. The word bondage means slavery, servitude, slavery, or so forth. So when it's talking about Egypt, just how we say brotherhood is synonymous with sisterhood and so forth, and brotherhood and sisterhood are synonymous with love. That word Egypt is synonymous with slavery, with bondage. In the Hebrew is Mizraim. Is that synonymous with slavery? So it says, I'm going to bring you thee into slavery, into bondage again with ships. We walked out of Egypt the first time. But it said this time when you go into bondage, you're going to go into bondage with ships. You're going to go on there on ships. Only one recorded people in history that has went to slavery on slave ships. Here in the UPK, we got a sign, a logo. It says True Holocaust. It says True Holocaust, and it's a slave ship. And you see us packed like sardines inside this doggone slave ship. Over 99 million of us died just going from point A to point B that didn't make it over here. They killed 77 million of our Native Indian brothers and sisters once Columbus them got over here. Killed another 70-some million of our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean taking that land as well. We have been killed by the hundreds of millions. That's your true Holocaust. That's the bondage that we were going to go into on them ships this time. And then it says, by the way, whereof I spake unto thee, he wasn't going to speak to us like that anymore. The way this is going to be different after this. This wasn't our first time going into slavery. Why? Because we are hard-headed people. We're hard-headed people. We didn't want to listen. We're very stubborn and hard-headed people, and we're the same way to this day. We just had remember we was in camp a couple weeks ago. Older sister out there, by all means, y'all make sure y'all go on YouTube and check that out. That video is out. It'll be some more coming out this week. But it's a older sister, a grandma out there with a young granddaughter. And then we're talking. Officer Mataza, he said we ain't supposed to celebrate birthday. And she like, oh no. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. Cat get on the mic. Love the Lord. Yep. Won't follow the Lord. Yep. That means follow his commandments. I do. He goes, you know what I'm saying? He goes, but that means you can't be celebrating your birthday. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. So again, we have always been a hard-headed people. We are hard-headed people now to this day. After I bring this, I'm gonna show you the stats. Remember, I asked y'all a question. So while I'm finishing reading this, y'all tell me how many mass shootings you think we've had this year so far. How many mass shootings you think we've had this year? I was going to ask you for Halloween how many mass shootings we've had, but I think I already told you the answer on that one. And that's right around 13. Lucky number 13. Boy, the Most High got a sense of humor. Sometimes I got a sense of humor. Okay,
damn right. That's hilarious.
But y'all go ahead and type in the chat how many mass shootings you think we've had this year alone, just in 2023. All right, so it says that thou shalt see it no more again. We haven't been to our homeland again. So all those fake Israelites groups, them fools talking about, let's go back over to Israel. I think it was a group that went to Dimona some years and years back. And then I read stories how they was deporting and kicking their behind out. Part of the reason that they let them come over there, well, you can join the military and you can come and you can earn your right to stay over here. Well, I wonder how they feeling about that decision now. And this is after they've already been going through the series of deporting them in these past years. But now you got bombs flying across your head. Why? Because the Lord said that it wasn't going to be peace on earth till we got back home. That's how you know the people over there, the apostles, them ain't the people that's supposed to be over there. And go ahead, Adawan.
I was going to say, the ironic thing about that is they believe they were Israelites. They're going back to their homeland. From here, where they were second-class citizens and treated horribly. You go back over there, even though the Lord said you will not see it again. And you went right back to being a second-class citizen, being oppressed. Like you said, look, you can come on over if you get into the military. What does this kingdom do to our people? They offer our people anything to get into the military, and then we're the first ones that go out onto the front line. This is what comes from not being properly taught and not being in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. Yeah.
And you that's so heavy that you say that, Adawan. And these are the quote unquote ones that know that they're Israelites. So how you get that far where you know you're Israelite? But you missed that whole part about not trusting your enemy. You missed that whole part how Stephen Baldwin and the brothers brought up about thou shalt not kill, or you ain't supposed to murder. Well, you joining the military. I always tell people, this how you know that church is full of garbage. That church will tell you peace, 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 peace. Don't never get mad at your oppressor, but you can join the military and be a trained mercenary. That's fine. Because best believe when you join that military, you join Esau's military, you will be trained to be a mercenary. You will be trained to unalive somebody else and take them out of here. You feel me? So how you get that far to know that you're an Israelite, but then you go right back into that trap right there. That's like you said. If you're not in the Israelite school and universal practical knowledge, the Bible has always been one body. He didn't send Moses, then he sent Moses' uncle, and then it was another Moses. It didn't work like that. It was one. It was just one. It always came through one. We've always had structure, order, discipline, had a military ranking system. But when you go with your own heart meaning your mind, lean into your own understanding. I know what's best for me. Okay, I'm just an Old Testament Israelite. And really what that all boils down to, you still being taught by your oppressor. So because you're still being taught by the oppressor, you're going to fall into the same traps that the oppressor has out for you. And that's what them brothers did. They ran up, they rushed to go back over there. And again, it says right here, you weren't going to see your land no more again. Just like you said, Officer Matazan Karat. So you just going to bend the scripture to your will. You're going to make the scripture say what you want it to say. You're going to make it say that. Even though it told you that I'm going to bring them all together in the valley of Jehoshaphat. You feel me? I'm going to bring them together in the valley, but you're going to run your behind over there. Okay.
You're going to do something different because you said so. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said
see how it works out for you. Now you're really back in captivity in the same position you were in.
Exactly. Out of one. All right, but the point I wanted to get to in this right here, it says, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies, not your friends, not your lovers, not your work husband, your work wife. That none of that. Like you brought up the sister that went to the slumber party with all them she saw. If she would have knew this right here, you're gonna be sold to your enemies. So why you at a damn slumber party with your enemies? Why you laying down with your enemies? You've been blessed with athletic prowess, and you getting paid a higher wage than the rest of the slaves. Why would you take that and give that to Becky, and you're gonna give it away to the other nations? When give it away to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we taught because we don't know this. We don't know what this word says. And so, and I only brought this up to show you who your enemies were. That whole garbage that the church gives you, or we all brothers, and I hate that word, that we're brothers in Christ. And I already know when I hear this, an oppressor is saying it, just want to strangle the life out of them. But we don't condemn any violence in Israel.
Absolutely not.
But just to hear them say it just does something to me because it's so against what the Most High says. What the Most High said. Christ even said when he was on that cross, they're my brothers. That's my mother. That's my brother right there. Them same brothers that was in the struggle that with him. You feel me? Them is brothers. Again, you might lose some brothers and sisters coming into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You might keep a couple of them though if you on a team that goes over to Demona, to Israel. You might, you might be able to appease and keep a whole bunch of friends and family. But that ain't what this word is saying, and that ain't what it's about. This is showing you who your enemies are. He said you're going to be sold to your enemies for bond man, slave man, and bond woman for slave woman. Now, as much as they're trying to distort and change history now, you have been fortunate enough where that part of quote unquote history was preserved. So we know you still know it now in 2023. I can't speak for 2025 or 2030. By then, it might be all obliterated and erased by then. But now you know that you were slaves when you came over here. So if you know that you were slaves when you came over here, you know you came over here on them ships, you ought to know who you were sold to. You ought to know that's your enemy, and you have no business trusting them whatsoever. And it says, no man shall buy you. When it says buy you, that word buy is old Quaker for redeem. Redeem meaning to save. Well, nobody gonna save us. This is why Martin Luther King couldn't do it, Malcolm X couldn't do it, Marcus Garvey couldn't do it. Now, none of them were gonna be able to save us. The Lord ain't gonna get that glory to nobody else. We're gonna get that once we come back and follow these law, statutes, and commandments like we're supposed to. Now I talked a little bit long out of one. I gave them long enough. They done found this answer. I'm looking at the answer. They done got this answer. they is on it. They is on it. Sister Ryan said over 500. In 2023, Sister Na said over 500. Then Sister Raya came back and said 560, and she is absolutely correct. She's absolutely correct. It's been 560 mass shootings already for 2023. Let me see if I can find it. There you go, right there. It's been 500, and we're going to read it right here. There have been more than 560 mass shootings across the U.S. so far. That's so far. You ain't even over with yet. Yeah,
Right.
it's not even over with yet. And so this is every day. And you see how this number has tracked up. And actually, we're a little bit below than what we normally is. Ain't that something? We're a little bit lower than what we normally is, out of one. A little bit lower than what we normally is.
So I get it. The year's not over yet.
It's not over. It's not. But normally around this time of year, we had about 650. We had about 650.
So this is adjusted for the time of the year, or is this?
Oh yeah, that's adjusted for the time of year. That's dates up to. Yep, that's supposed to be for the year. I think because I could be wrong on that though. I could be wrong on that. That could be just a tally for or the average for.
Yeah, that might be the average for the whole year. She might tick up before the end of the year. I mean,
I'm pretty sure we will. We will. Yeah. And then I had already told y'all before that already just for the holiday weekend. This was up to 2 days ago. We were already at 13. Already at 13 mass shooters. And the reason why the Most High is making this happen. Never get it twisted in your mind like that Christian church tries to tell a lot of you that oh, this is just the devil and the Lord and the devil are fighting and this is why this is happening. Nope, that's not true. The Most High says that I'm a terrible power, which means I'm a great power. I make alive and I cause death. That's who we serve. He is in control of all of that. It's not no battle in heaven. The only battle is us down here trying to do what we want to do as opposed to listening to what the Most High says. That's the only battle that it is. Ain't no Satan no battle with the Most High. Satan no battle with the Most High. So this is a result of us again following these holidays like we're not supposed to follow. And like Sister Raya said, we still got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. Exactly. And it's going to be the same around then. And you can ask anybody. When is the most death? We can pull the numbers up on that. I didn't have time to pull that up on that first, but I'm pretty sure if I pull that up and show you when is the most death, it's going to be around the holiday time. The holidays, Christmas specifically, Thanksgiving, they're known for people being lonely and unalive in themselves. Why? Because other people have been unalive during the same time of the year. Well, this is when I lost my mama this year. I lost my mama last. I lost my daddy last. I lost my grandma last Christmas. Well, why you think you are losing them then? Why? You go to this church, they tell you about this awesome guy. He's good all the time. Why would he take them on those specific days? So you will have a constant memory every year. Why would he do that? He doing that to wake your behind up to say you're not supposed to be celebrating now. And don't get on the same list so your behind be gone the next year coming up.
So I can y'all get down.
Go ahead, other one.
The same thing happens with Mother's Day and Father's Day. Exactly. Listen, when somebody's mother or father passes, every Mother's Day and Father's Day after that, they're all the pieces. They're all the pieces. Because this oppressor tells you that's when you're supposed to celebrate your mother and you're supposed to celebrate your father. And the fact that they not here just breaks us down every single year. Every single year. Wherein, as if you didn't celebrate that and you just honored your mother or father appropriately and celebrated and showed love and so on and so forth, and you understood and when you understood when you come in ISUPK that reincarnation is real. Reincarnation is real. It gives you a different perspective about death. The truth of the Bible gives you a different perspective about so-called death. They're gonna come back. That's just what happens. They might be your great-great-grandchild. Who knows who it might be? But you're gonna look at some. If you're fortunate enough, you're gonna look at some person in your family and go, "It remind me of my mom. It remind me of my dad."
You are absolutely correct. I had originally pulled this scripture. I'm finna see if I can pull it right now. See if I can grab it right now. But you get 7 days or more. You're supposed to get 7 days or more. 7 days. Go ahead and more. Get your behind back to work and let's keep on building this thing. They have taught us to you paint a moral on the wall. You get your name tattooed on you. All these things which are against the Most High. And like you say, because we don't know what this scripture say, we get all caught up. Well, it's when they killed June. That's when my mama passed. And we get deeper and deeper into the sin because we don't know what these scriptures said. If we realize that, hey, this ain't your first time, this ain't your first rodeo. and you're gonna be back. So if you really love them, you want to do something for them, make this damn place better. Make it so when they do come back, they ain't in captivity the next time. How about that? If you love them, how about you make it so when they do come back around, because they will be back again, and that third or fourth generation, this time they're not in captivity. But by you continuing to do what the Lord say not to do, you ensuring that when they do come back, they're gonna come back and it's gonna be worse than it was when they was here. Every generation has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. We left out of slavery. We were building communities. We were building colleges and hospitals and so forth. We thought it couldn't get no worse. I'll be damned. 2023. It's worse now than it was when we was coming up out of slavery. So if you really want to do something for your quote unquote loved ones, man, follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Follow these laws, statutes, and commandments so that when they do come back, they don't come back and be a slave. They're not coming back as a slave. They're coming back in power. They're coming back in their heaven. Because the Bible says that the end of Esau's world, the end of this world, which that valley of Jehoshaphat, that Armageddon, this place, this oppressor, and the rest of them are marching to right now as we speak. The end of this world is the beginning of Jacob's. It said the whole earth, I think it says in Ezra's, the whole earth is between hand and heel. Between hand and heel. When Esau came out, we grabbed onto that heel. We done been at war since we was in the womb. This church, these religions have taught us that we ain't at war no more. That's your friend. But we just read in the Bible that that's your enemy. You want to do something for your loved ones? Don't waste no tattoo ink. You're supposed to get tattoos anyway. Don't waste no paint no mural on the wall. No, follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. What you got, out of one?
Oh, that's it. I was just agreeing with you. I was just agreeing with you.
Sister Ryan said the definition of mass shooting is going to be 3 or more people, and again 560, and that's right now. But that's the oppressor. His gift was the sword. So it's nothing for him to run into your grocery store and just let loose. That don't mean nothing to him. It's nothing for him to run into your Dollar General and gun down your grandma. Nothing at all. We have forgotten who our oppressor is. We don't realize, and he shows us all the time. We are every time one of us get on live at a traffic stop and we get out there and march our feet, and then they go, well, it's the training and it's this and it's that. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. No. What it is his gift is the sword. He has a perpetual hatred towards you. He will always have a perpetual hatred towards you. The imposter get billions of dollars a year. The Palestinians get billions and billions of dollars a year. The Moab, Ammon, they get billions of dollars a year for a year in the doggone internment, 1 year in a internment camp. They get billions of dollars a year. We done impacted every facet of society there is across the whole world. They don't even want to give you reparations. They don't even want to give you that. Absolutely. So if that ain't biblical, if you can't see by now that that's biblical, and the fact that church doesn't tell us that's they not working for us, they not telling you the words of the Most High, you really think this is how Lord wanted it to be for us when we His children? Like when a sister brought up the love the church like love your wife like your church. You really think if you love her, you're gonna want her to constantly be in turmoil, constantly be in need, constantly be at the hand of the oppressor? Nah. You're gonna want to free us from that. Just like the Most High wants to free us from the same hand of those evil ones. Same hand of this oppressor. But He can't do that if we don't follow these Most High. We don't follow the law, statutes, commandments like we're supposed to. What you got on?
If I could, another clear example, right, of how Christianity has destroyed our community and our people. If you go back, you want to find yourself somebody who despises this oppressor, find somebody about 70 plus.
Come.
Find a brother or sister about 70 years old plus right now. 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you that they despise this oppressor because they have the remembrance of everything our people went through. They have a more direct remembrance of it. They have a more direct memory of it. And they weren't all, the way they were supposed to be either, because we still weren't following the law, statutes, and commandments at that time, but we were closer. But if you take that 70 plus, compare that to somebody in their 50s and below, The average brother and sister, we think we should just love everybody. We hear that same, well, they weren't here, nobody here was, owned slaves, and nobody here oppressed us directly, and I don't know anybody who had to directly deal with that, and blah 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 blah. That's Christianity. That's telling our people, you know what? That's old. It's done away with. We're not even enemies anymore. When the Most High said, "These are your enemies, and this is what's going to happen." Our problem is we're so disconnected from what happened. And then the Christian church tells us, don't even worry about it. I get it.
It's a lock out of one. What you said is so heavy. That's why I always make sure, on Thursday nights, I'm listening to General Mahim, his scripture breakdown. Even in classes where we're teaching, so we don't see them, I go back during the week and I pull those classes up and I watch them, because you listening to brothers that was actually there during that time. And just like you said, that you sit down and really talk to one of these older brothers that even if they're not in the truth, everybody didn't rock with Martin Luther King like that. Matter of fact, they didn't really mess with him like that. It was the populace that or the popular that dealt with him like that. The ones that had influence. You know what I'm saying? NAACP was started by all oppressors.
Right.
I think it was W. Du Bois was the only brother, and I think maybe another one I think that was in there. But for the most part, that was
W. Du Bois was an oppressor too.
Perfect. It was all oppressors. You know what I'm saying? So again,
W. Du Bois' father, W. Du Bois' father. Let me get it right. His father's father was an oppressor.
That means we one of them too. Then damn right. But it's little stuff like that we don't realize. Like when you brought out how Frederick Douglass oppressor. And I think in the last class we had, I said it right at the end. Oh, Angela Davis with the afro, burn your brow. She's an oppressor. So we've been taught, and we've been taught this black power and all this other garbage that has nothing to do with the Bible. You wanna really learn about black power? Get in this Bible. Get in this Bible. This Bible is black power. That's black supremacy right there. That's real black power. That's real black history. This message they tell us that ain't black history. We think our history starts when we get off the slave ship and we supposed to be happy that we done got. Nah, that ain't nothing to be happy of. That's why the Bible tells you that the day of your death is better than the day of your birth. You born in captivity, but you want to get balloons and celebrate every year. Why? Because of Roman mythology. You want to celebrate, make yourself a god every year. Now you born and you die in captivity. When you can work, follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the next time you get back around here again, you in power, you in rulership. Rulership. That's what we need to strive for. That's what we need to strive towards. Sister Ryan said the main holidays connected to mass shootings are 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. Exactly. And it's just so coincidence. This is what the Lord told us not to do. He told us not to do this, not to follow these other nations. Not to follow these other guys. Matter of fact, let me pull that scripture real quick. We ain't gonna get to everything as usual, but we're gonna hit a couple more before we get up out of here for the night. We already over the time. The water for everybody that's sticking around. We just gonna get a couple more scriptures before we get out. It was an awesome class, awesome participation, and again, hey, y'all make the class, and this is how we build a nation. Now we had already said this earlier when I was reading up Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And it says, "I bring you out of the house of Egypt." And I said it, Exodus 20:2, but this is the actual scripture. So I'll start there. I'll start at 2. It says, "I am the Most High, thy power." The Most High is our power. If you got anything, a car, a remote control car, your television, whatever, you disconnect that power, it's worthless. It's a paperweight at that point. Well, that's us. When we disconnected from our power, the Most High, our power, we are worthless, and everybody else knows this except for us. Serving our power is not optional. You ask the television, is it optional for it to be plugged up to the AC? It's not optional. It don't work without it. And we don't work without our Most High power. So when it's saying, when you read that in the Bible, that's what it's saying. God is just a title. It says, "I am the Most High, thy power, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt." This is how you prove that Egypt, when it says that out of the land of Egypt, same wording that you got right here. You read precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Only place in the Bible where it doubles up like that. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. This is how you hear a little, there a little. This is how you read the Bible. The Bible is not meant to be read like no novel. This is, but again, if you learn it from the oppressor, which is what the Christian church, they have learned how to, that's how they've learned how to decipher this Bible, how to read and understand this Bible from the oppressor. You're not going to know what the hell you're reading. You're not going to know what you're reading. So you got to read precept upon precept. So this is that precept that goes with Deuteronomy 28. You feel me? So which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. This is how we know that when he's talking about getting you out of the land of Egypt in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and it's saying with ships, you know, you walked out of Egypt the first time. Well, this is how you know that Egypt is just synonymous, another word for bondage, for slavery. But this is the verse I wanted to get to, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. God, Most High told us this over and over and over and over again. We're not supposed to serve. It says, I'm a jealous God. We're not supposed to worship or serve no other power before our Most High power. None whatsoever. And this is what you do when you celebrate Halloween, when you celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and 4th of July and New Year's, just like Sister Raya brought up. This is why we being unalive at these numbers like this. Because I guarantee you look at these numbers, we are the main ones getting unalive at these birthday parties, Thanksgiving parties, Christmas parties, New Year parties, and so forth. Every year, consistently, year after year after year. But because we're so disconnected with what the Most High says and what this Bible says, we don't even make that connection to see that this is why. Because we're not following the Most High's commandment. We're not following his commandment. So I just wanted to bring it up to show how, again, it's not optional. We can't serve no other gods. And like it was said, I forget exactly who said it. It may have been you that said it off sometimes. But when you serve other gods, when you worship other gods, you're gonna serve the people of that God. So when you worshiping or you serving, you celebrating Halloween, you celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas and so forth. Well, that comes from Caesar Borgia. That comes from this oppressor's God, which means you're gonna serve him or her or him, man, woman, and child. You're gonna serve them. You're gonna serve them, and you're not even gonna realize that you're serving them.
Exactly.
You're not gonna realize that you're serving them. So
Exactly.
Sister Aisha said, yes, everything. Exactly. Damn right. You're gonna serve that people by worshiping that God. You're gonna serve that people. This is why the Most High told us that we're supposed to be the light. Because if we were serving our God like we're supposed to, everybody would follow us. Just like everybody take a bath, maybe not how they should, but they take baths. Why? Because they follow us. They might not do it periodically on schedule like we would like, but they do it because they follow us. They follow the slave. Now imagine if we was in power, just how much. Imagine the influence we would have on the rest of the world. We're gonna have that heaven on earth. They're gonna follow the Most High. You won't be able to go into a store and get no pork. You won't be buying no pork bacon in the kingdom. That's over with. It won't be no OnlyFans in the kingdom. It won't be no kids knocking on your door getting candy. You won't have to worry about nobody poisoning your child on Halloween in the kingdom, because we're gonna follow the Most High. And they gonna, because we follow the Most High, they're gonna worship the Most High, they're gonna serve us. That's go ahead, Ottawa.
So like I wanted to you hit on a point that was real heavy. John 4 and 22 says, ye worship ye know not what.
That's right.
We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. This is Christ talking. And at the time he's talking to a Gentile heathen. But this is now applicable to our people. This is now applicable to our people because we don't know what we worship. We are into Christianity. Our people are into Thanksgiving and Christmas and Mother's Day and Father's Day and Valentine's Day. We don't know at all what we're doing and what we're worshiping.
No,
and it's largely because of the Christian church. It's largely because we don't know our history. It's largely, the main thing is that we're not in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. We're not in the truth, so we can get what the actual history is, so we can know what we worship. Salvation is of the Jews. We know what we worship here in the UPK. Salvation is of the Israelites, but it's of the Israelites who have the understanding, who try to get the truth, who try to find out what it is. So, Salaki, this was back when I was in the world. I was in I don't know if you want to call it a Bible study, theological school or whatever, but the cat that was teaching, it was right around Christmas, handed out a essay or whatever, some kind of reading, and told everybody in the class that, yeah, Christmas is a pagan holiday. And he was like, y'all read it and come back the next week, we'll talk about it. So everybody came back and people had read it, and everybody was like, so we shouldn't be celebrating this? And he looked everybody in the face, was like, well, you can still celebrate it. I mean, I just want y'all to know the history. And at best, he was at least giving them the history. But then you're telling them to continue to do it. Yeah, our people don't get that much. We have no idea, on average, what we're worshiping. Come into UPK and find out what it is, and then start worshiping the right thing. Start worshiping the Most High. Start serving the Most High. Start following the law, statutes, and commandments. So then you can be like Christ and say, we know what we worship. Yeah.
And not only that, other one, that's so heavy that you brought that out. Like you said, he brought that right back into the theology. It's supposed to be learning about the Bible. Now, I guess he skipped that part where it says, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. He skipped all that. He missed all that. Went right to, well, this is what it is. It's pagan, but it's okay. Same way how they do with Christmas. It's pagan, but it's okay. And I've had that conversation with so many Christians where I would tell them, well, you know, if you can do a simple Google search. Christmas is pagan. Valentine's is pagan. Mother's Day is pagan. Father's Day, all this stuff is pagan. However, yeah, I know, but that ain't why I do it.
Right. That's the line. I'll do it.
They're right. I just wanted to bring this out because you touched on the real good one when you that John 4:22. We don't know what we worship. You absolutely correct. So I'm just gonna hit on a couple of highlights on this little joint right here. Now, you can find this right on the History Channel. The oppressor is so bold with it. He's so bold. They think so little of us. They put it right in front of your face. Mm-hmm. They don't even try to hide a lot of stuff like they used to. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a lot of like they used to. And again, I know we're a little bit over time, so just bear with us about 10, 15 more minutes. We're going to try to get on up out of here. But this is just talking about the history of Samhain or Halloween and so forth. I'm just going to, again, I'm going to hit on just a couple of points. It says Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival or Samhain, right? About 2,000 years ago, North France, European, Celtic. You done heard of that Celtic before. You might watch basketball and seen the green, the Celtics and the Leprechauns and how they some of the most rudest damn fans in the world. You know what I'm saying? The quote unquote Celtics or whatever. But we're gonna read a little bit more. Celts believe that on the night before New Year, the boundary between the world of living and dead became blurred. And on 31st, they celebrated Samhain, and when it was believed that ghosts of the dead returned to the earth. This is what they celebrating right now. They going out knocking on people's doors, begging for candy. But if you was to tell one of them, nah, that ain't the reason why I do it. Like Officer Matazah Akra brought up, you worship, you know not what. You know what you worship. You know what you worship. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, now it's very PC. It's very misleading a little bit when it tells you that that's all they did was just cause a little trouble and damage a little crop. Oh, it was a lot worse than that. It was a lot worse than that. It was chaos in the doggone streets. Chaos in the streets. So not only are they demon worshiping and trying to talk to the dead, and it's chaos in the doggone street, they damaging other people's crops and so forth. You just take that example right there alone. Your car might be parked outside. Somebody come up and bust all the windows out, and your dog gonna call the baseball bat. It's just for the holiday. No big deal, right? ain't no big deal. They damaging the crops and so forth. Again, we don't work. We don't know or realize what we worship. We don't realize what we worship. All right. So what else we got? They also did sacrifices. They burnt crops, animal sacrifices and so forth. They wore animal heads and skins. Now, this is not like the mask and costumes you go and buy in the store. You try to imagine you taking an animal. You unaliving that animal and you putting that skin on you. That's flesh, guts, and everything else right on. This is this is the stuff that we worship. This is this oppressor. They're not like us, and we're not like them, but we don't realize that we follow and we worship them. The part that I really, really wanted to get to by AD 43, the Roman Empire. I conquered most of the Celts. Where is it? Where is it? First, I wanted you to see the Roman Empire again at Apocrypha. That's where that Roman Greek captivity is at. The part that we missing in the Bible, and we don't realize America. This is just an extension of their Roman Empire. This is the eighth that came out of the seventh. That little horn. That's America. That's where we at now. This is Mystery Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. And so again, a lot of the stuff, if not majority of the things that we worship, come from Greek mythology, Roman mythology. That's where you get your concept of heaven and hell from. That's where you get your quote unquote monogamy from. A lot of our sisters are coming to the truth, and one of the hardest things is that your husband might have another wife, and it's so hard, and it's so difficult. But sexually assaulting a child, you wouldn't agree if your husband did that. And you probably don't do that yourself. But the same people that said that was okay and that was part of their culture are the same ones that told that you should follow monogamy. We don't realize that. We don't realize that our entire nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, your blacks, your Latinos, your Native Indian, they come from the product of 4 wives. Jacob had 4 wives. We don't realize that that's our culture. Monogamy is not our culture. Just like Halloween is not our culture. But because we're so abstract from it, we don't know our history, we don't know this Bible, things like that are foreign to us, and it makes it hard for us to follow. Knowing these laws, statutes, and commandments puts everything else back into perspective. There's another part that I want to get to. Let me see if it's said on here, and it may not say it on this page here. There's another one that I pulled up, and it traced the Celts and Romans right back to Esau. It traced them right back to Esau again. And I just wanted to show again, they always try to make this Bible to be like a fairy tale. They try to make it to be like a fairy tale. It's not really real. It's make-believe, and it's not make-believe. If there one accurate, true historical record of what's done on that hasn't been manipulated to the point like the other history and stuff that you read. You know what I'm saying? This is how you know who's who and what's what in this earth right now. All the nations were identified them, and they don't change. People don't change. People don't change. They might change and switch up their lives, switch up their method, the mythology, the technology might switch up. But just like how they were practicing Halloween thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, it's folks right outside right now practicing Halloween. Just like Christmas is one of your oldest holidays. That's Nimrod. That's Nimrod. That comes from the Africans. We practice that to this day. So it don't matter. Go ahead, Adam. I see like you want to say something, Adam.
Salaki, I'm talking to my daughter right now. Salaki,
Okay. Try to jump in there. But no, so those same holidays and so forth, it may seem like, well, I don't celebrate it for that reason. These are the same holidays that was way back then today, that way back then, thousands of years ago, that the Most High told us not to do. He told us not to do it way back then. So again, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. The only thing that's changed is the way that they trick and lie and mislead us. And we don't know this Bible at all anymore. We have may known it a little bit more back then. We don't know it at all now. We don't know who we are at all. We believe that those imposters over there are us. We don't realize that, no, that's your land that they fighting over right now. They fighting over your land. Right now, the fight that they're having is biblical. The third woe. One woe has already passed. The second is fast approaching. And it's going to be 3. This is that third woe that the Bible is talking about. But if you're following that church, you're following that mosque, you're following anybody else outside of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you don't know what you worship. Just like Officer Mataza Akura brought up. It's fake Israelite groups. And I don't know if you heard of Officer Mataza Akura. It's fake Israelite groups right now that's out there supporting Israel. There's supporting Israel.
What? No, I haven't heard that. Are you serious?
A couple of them got mollywopped over the weekend out there in camp. A couple of them got mollywopped over the weekend out there in camp. There's a group out now right now planning on going out on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? And fighting these folks. They support Israel. Just like the fools we mentioned that done went over to Israel. How you find out you're an Israelite? And you missed that whole part. That your people are black, Latinos, and Native Indians. Go ahead, Ottawa.
It's like, and this is why the ISUPK is a home of the truth. This is exactly why the ISUPK is a home of the truth. Listen, there's a, and this is also why we say that we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group.
Damn right.
Listen, if you know the truth of the Bible, there's no reason that you should be supporting really either of them. I don't care if it's Israel, so-called Israel. I have a hard time saying that, to be honest. If it's so-called Israelis or Palestinians, they're both occupying our land right now.
Damn
And if
right.
you knew the truth of the Bible, you would know that. But if you're in this some other fake Israelite group and you don't have the truth of the Bible, you might get mollywopped out there on the street corner.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good
Oh yeah.
night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
get it. I'm
And,
done. That's crazy.
and again, that's just not knowing the truth. That's following. That's trying to have it both ways. That's Christianity at its finest. I always say that they Christians with towels, the baby doll tassels on their t-shirt. That's all. That's
Come,
all. It's no different.
come.
It's no different. You got some churches right now saying that they're Israelites. I got into it with somebody the other day. Well, my pastor say we Israelite. Okay, all right, but y'all stay at church on Sunday, huh? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
you
like
got
for
to
us,
stop right there. You got to stop right there.
yeah, for us it's instant. Like okay, and that's why,
Right.
like you were saying, it's so important. Get into this body. Get into this body. Y'all keep going. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to these pages. Y'all comment on these pages. You are in a blessed, beautiful time. But just how we show, it's going to be a very tumultuous. It's going to be a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos in this time. And it's going to be very important that we come together as brothers and sisters, like Zephaniah 2:1. We come together. We come together. We get in this body. Now, as usual, we don't never get to, and in this class here, we never get to everything I write down. But we did. We hit a good bit. We had some great participation tonight. Last scripture I want to bring up before we get out of here and get to everything. We don't fight like free men. Slaves just want to get along, to keep the head down, and keep everything okay, and that's where you get your Christianity and your other. That's where you get them fools going over to Israel. How you go to the land that's supposed to be yours as a third and fourth class citizen? I'm gonna be. I serve in your military if you let me stay over here, master. When we read this and we tell us that that's gonna be ours, the Lord gonna give us all that and more. It said the gates are gonna be continually open 24/7. With them bringing in the riches, all the stuff they done stole. It's going to be continually open 24/7. How you settle for going over there and being a third, fourth class citizen, being treated worse than you is already over here at ground zero, only because you don't listen to the prophets of the Lord, and you still trying to do it on your own, do it your own way. It's only one way, it's only one body, and that's one West. That's
Right.
one way. And there's only one camp. I don't care how much I heard a camp today talking about, the elders who won West. It's only one West. That's ISUPK.
Damn right.
Where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Care where you came from. If you ain't here, if you ain't UPK, you in the way. You in the way. So again, the water to everybody. The water to everybody that's here tonight. Last scripture I want to pull is going to be John 8:32. May have pulled it last week, but again, I think it's a very important one because it's another one that's always kind of not taught the correct way. They put their own little spin on it because they don't know what the hell they talking about. We're gonna get John 8:32. Anything else we haven't touched on, we'll get back to it. And hopefully y'all been looking at these numbers. I was gonna pull that up. Hopefully y'all been looking at these doggone numbers. They done drop more as far as like kiloton wise. They done drop more. Let me pull it just real quick out of one. They done drop more bomb than they did with the nuclear bomb with Hiroshima and what was the other one? Hiroshima and I should know this. We know they dropped two on them. They combined, they've already dropped more just in this last month. And when the report came out, go ahead, Ottawa.
It's Nagasaki, right?
There you go, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I would just now, if you read this that I pulled up right here, it says October 7th. Y'all know it's October 31st. So by October 7th, 6 days into this thing, you feel me? They had dropped over 12,000 tons of explosives. That 12,000 tons was the equivalent. I'm about 3,000 short of the equivalent of what they had dropped for Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So already, that's just then, and this is 24 days after the fact. So they've dropped more now, more than they have during that time period. It's been over 8,000 people unalive. About 3,500 are children. This is the oppressor. You know that whole women and children hit the boat, women and children say, oh no, it's been about 2,600 women. It's been about 3,500 children. If you've seen any of the pictures, they got containers where they're just stacking bodies. This container's for the babies. This a lady container. This a man, just stacking bodies, just stacking them. This is the oppressor. This is the oppressor that everybody in the world accepts as being God's children. So I just wanted to bring that out real quick. And again, I'm pretty sure it'll be even better. It'll be even better, even juicier next week when we jump on it. But I just wanted to touch on that. When you look at this holidays that they're having today, a holiday that was surrounded around death and worshiping the dead, and that goes back to who Esau is. His blessing was the sword. When we look at our communities and it's infected with death and unaliving and chaos, that's because we worship them. We got to come back to the Most High. If we come back to the Most High, then this scripture right here, they always read this scripture right here wrong. I'm going to go to John 8:32. John 8:32. Pull that up real quick. Before we get out of here, it's been a good night. Good night tonight. All right, so John 8:32, real simple, real simple scripture, but and I say simple because it's a short scripture, but it's very, very impactful, and it's saying a whole lot in that scripture. It says, "And ye shall know the truth." What's the truth? This word is the truth. These laws, statutes, and commandments are the truth. And it says, and ye shall know the truth. That church don't teach the truth. The mosque don't teach the truth. America don't teach the truth. Your politician, they're not trying to teach you the truth. Why? Because if they teach you the truth, it says, and the truth shall make you free. Them people over there in Gaza, they went through a little bit, a little tiny piece of what we done been through for hundreds of years. And even with that, even with being outnumbered, being surrounded, you know what I'm saying? With them unaliving them every day, them people still said, you know what? Fight time. Ring that bell. Let's go. If you look at any of those videos now, they running with their unalived babies, missing heads and arms and limbs, and you know what they saying? That's okay. That's all right, because it ain't over. We gonna fight. We get out there and we cry and holler, Lord, I just wanted to stop. Lord, please, what a peace said, and Lord, please, and because we've been taught by the oppressor. We operate, how Sister Raya said, with a slave mentality. Isaiah 45, I think Isaiah 45 and 17. Is Israel a homeborn slave? I think that's the right one. If not, we'll revisit it next week. But in Isaiah, I know it says, is Israel a homeborn slave? We happy to be a slave. We relish in being a slave. We comfortable in being a slave. Them people over there in Gaza, they free people. Free people ain't comfortable being slaves. Free people, like right now, as rich as Israeli, the imposters are, they can write them a check. They can write them a check real quick. Matter of fact, you got the rest of the world giving them billions right now. So imagine they getting reparations every week. Every week they get reparations. Every week. They ain't trying to stop fighting. They're not gonna fight. They're not gonna stop fighting. Why? Because they ain't got nothing to do with no money. We get reparations right now, boys. You can call it a rap. Hey, I was a you went here. No, we be at camp and they wouldn't even stop to listen no more. Everybody had their beats on, walking by, right around, the music be bumping. You know what I'm saying? Let them give out reparations.
We got reparations today. The GDP for America would triple in a week if we got reparations, because we're going to give it all back. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, a good couple of weeks, it'll all be going back. Oh, they be talking about how good the economy doing, and this be the best Christmas ever, the best Thanksgiving ever. Man. We be breaking record profits left and right. And then at the end of it, we be talking why we don't support each other.
After all the money gone, that's when we're gonna be like, we should have supported each other when we got that money.
That's what we be on. That's what we be on. That's what we be on. You know what I'm saying? All because we don't know what this Bible says. And John 8:32 says, and you shall know the truth. The truth shall make you free. In order for us to be free, have a free mentality, you got to get in this Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. I've never felt more freer since I first came in here. You feel me? I never felt damn right. Never felt more freer than when I first got my name. And to the young brothers that's in the class, y'all keep on coming. You keep on coming. You honored our mother and our father. You make your father proud. You get that Hebrew name. Y'all keep on coming. Y'all keep on coming. You're gonna have a free mentality. You're gonna start to see, if you haven't already saw, your friends don't think like you think. They got a whole different mentality than you have, because you're gonna have a free man's mentality. And this book, this Bible. Go ahead, R1.
No, so
Oh
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
just they
Oh yeah.
listen. They have a particular benefit. You know what I mean? That most of us who are in the truth did not have. Having a mother and father who are grounded in the truth.
Oh, damn right. That's such a blessing there.
Damn right,
That,
damn right. That gives
that,
you a support that most brothers and sisters in the truth right now did not have, and that's something that's gonna make you all stronger quicker. That's what you need to
oh yeah, damn right, damn right.
be
And
willing
it's
to.
real strength, out of one. It's not that. It's
Damn
not
right.
that I'm in the gym, so I got muscle strength. It's not that strength.
Nah,
It's not. It's not that. It's not that. All the girls love me because I got straight hair strength. You know what I'm
nah.
saying? It ain't
That's
that
gonna
type.
be a foundational strength that's gonna make y'all strong in this truth as long as y'all stay locked in. So definitely do that. Definitely do that. Ask your questions, whether it be to your father in class, whatever. Just ask your questions so you make sure you can get the understanding. But stay locked in. Stay locked in, because y'all brothers are doing too wild, and just keep it up.
And that goes for everybody in the class. Again, y'all learning how we build this nation, and free people build a nation.
Damn right.
Slave just want to be a nation inside of a nation, something that don't even make no sense. That's the goals of a slave, but a free man, free folks. We build a nation. Free man, you gotta give me nothing. I'm not asking for nothing. Matter of fact, I don't want anything. I don't want anything from you. Me taking anything from you would be like me taking this Halloween candy. I don't want your Halloween candy. I don't want your
Damn right.
Halloween candy. I don't want your Christmas gift. You can keep your damn reparations. I don't want your reparations.
So like,
I want. Go ahead.
yeah, I do want one thing. Get the hell
What's
out the
that?
way.
Count out
Just get
come.
the hell out the way. Just get the hell out the way and leave me and my people alone, and we'll be all right.
But damn right, Sister Ryan, damn right. And look, Lord willing, I always say Caucasian plantation, Lord willing. Hey, you getting 30 minutes of sleep. 30 minutes of sleep, Lord willing. You're gonna do that standing up, find you a comfortable spot, get your head back to work. Look, get your head back to work. I think every day I wake up thinking of different ways to be more efficient on that plantation. Every day I see a officer unalive one of ours. Every day when you see how despicable, how evil, how wicked, how cruel these people are, when you had that class you had last night and they're talking about buck breaking, that's a cruel thing, to beat a brother till he can't halfway stand no more. Till you
All
can't
right.
halfway stand no more. And I actually started to go that direction. Maybe we'll do that next class. Talk about that Willie Lynch letter. I couldn't remember if you don't went over it before in class or not.
No,
You
I
know
have
what I'm
not.
saying?
I'm very familiar
But
with it, but I have not
it's such
covered
a
it.
deep, it's such a deep, a lot of you got a lot of folks saying it's real and ain't real, but it's such a deep psychology that goes along with it. And there's so much truth inside of it. I mean, it breaks it down to a science. So if you don't hit on it, even if you do, we might tag team and jump on that one.
Yeah, we might
But
figure
like,
it out.
what I'm saying, this word, this truth y'all been in this class is the most important thing in y'all lives. This is the best time in the world to be us. Because we at the end of this show, we waiting on these credits to start rolling. So the water to everybody for being in class tonight. And again, hey, that's it. If you got anything, if you don't got nothing else out of one, we're gonna go ahead and hit these announcements, hit these security announcements, and go ahead and call it
Go
a
ahead.
night.
Go
We ain't
ahead.
here acting like Captain Natazar. We're about 38 minutes over the time. We ain't acting like that.
We are well over the time. I don't know. We might get checked tonight. Salakia, officer, Salakia, Captain, Dr. Zakasha. Yeah, go get to them announcements, bro.
All right, they're all right. All right. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers, if you can find that in Numbers chapter 18, verses 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. There's a priest fund. Priest fund is a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory, and it's going to be in whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming high holy days, upcoming holy convocations. We have the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah. This is going to be the 25th day of the 9th month, December 7th, 2023. And you can find this in First Maccabees chapter 4, verses 52 through 61. Our next high holy day after that won't be until February, and that's going to be Purim. We'll make announcements with that. After that, immediately following after that, April 2024, the time and date is set for the 55th, the Lord's 55th Passover. It's going to be in Durham, North Carolina. Get in now, get your reservations now. We got about 250 or so slots. We got the whole entire hotel to ourselves. So by all means, get in touch with your camp leader. Try to get your deposits in. You have this entire time from now up until April to go ahead and get your Passover fee paid for. Your Passover fee is going to be about $200. 200. Children are free. You want to go ahead and get that knocked out, get that paid for now before you get your garments. Before you come in getting all beautiful and fine like you know Israel do. Go ahead and get that Passover fee taken care of. 200. You can go right online, ISUPK.com, and go ahead and pay that now. Again, we got plenty of time to go and prepare and be ready so we can all come. And again, that's a law. That's a law that we call come together for the Lord's 55th Passover in Durham, North Carolina. Also tomorrow, immediately following the Wednesday scripture breakdown class with Captain Natazak Shah, everybody that participated in that raffle that we have for the PS4 gift card. If you participated in that raffle, tomorrow, immediately following class, we're going to announce that winner. So if you participate in the raffle, by all means, stick around tomorrow. Be in class. We're gonna announce the winner. We're gonna have more raffles and stuff to come. So the water to everybody that supported us. And again, you supporting us and supporting the nation. We're gonna try to keep on bringing it to you. So again, the water for everybody that supported us. If you are a young brother that desires to be a trooper in the school, make sure you start wearing all black: boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. Make sure your head is uncovered. If you're a sister, you want to make sure your head is uncovered. When you're in class and the word is coming out. And with that, we want to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Yahaba Shem Yahba Shabarakatah. Give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba Hashem Yahweh Shah. And with that, the water. Shalom, Israel. We'll see you again tomorrow. Shalom.